of ABC Sports.
Hi, everybody. I'm Roger Twybill, and welcome to our ABC Sports studios here in New York. Today, we begin our first weekend of regional coverage of college football, and I'll be here every Saturday to bring you up to date on the latest news, scores, and highlights from around the country. One game to tell you about: Joe Paterno and the Nittany Lions taking all the pressure off John Jenkins and the Houston Cougars. 2 minutes left to go. They lead Cincinnati 81-0. I'll be back throughout the afternoon with updates and at halftime for a complete report on the Prudential Halftime Report. In the meantime, enjoy the game.
This is the campus of Stanford University, a favorite stopping place during any college football season. Today, a matchup to begin a season that may make echoes through the entire year. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to ABC's College Football. This matchup between Washington and Stanford will have meaning through the Pac-10 as the Huskies try to repeat as champions. Stanford wants to make a mark. Some think Washington can contend for the national championship. The Huskies come into this ball game a favorite, but there are two people who must be principal performers for each team to decide this contest today. Let's start with the Washington quarterback, Billy Joe Hobart, Bob Greasy, and then go to Glenn Milburn, who makes big noise for Stanford.
Billy Joe, the Washington quarterback, replaces, it's his first collegiate start, replaces Mark Brunell, who is out of this ball game with knee surgery, was the Rose Bowl MVP last January. Hobart is a big, strong thrower. He's a gambler, likes to put the ball up. It'll be fun to watch him today. Glenn Milburn, on the other hand, for Stanford, is a diminutive back, a halfback, 5'9", 175, led the nation in all-purpose yards last year, led the Pac-10 in receiving from the halfback position. You'll see him on kickoff returns, punt returns, running out of the backfield, catching passes, everything. It'll be fun to watch him also.
Injuries have whittled away at the Washington offense, but you should remember that it's Washington's defense that have given them their lofty national ranking anyway, and they're all healthy. Piling into the stadium for game number one, a season that Stanford hopes will wind up sending them to a bowl game. Series record between these two teams reflected there. Washington's won the last 7, 11 of the last 12, so you can tell that Stanford did a lot of winning a few years ago. The strengths as Washington gets set to receive with Bob Greasy.
Washington had an outstanding offense. 8 starters returned, but no Brunell or Greg Lewis, the outstanding player in the Pac-10. Stanford, 4 first-time starters on defense, and 3 of those starters were offensive players. 2 of them were quarterbacks in the spring.
Tommy Smith, the defensive back, safety, is the deep man to receive the kickoff along with another DB, Walter Bailey. So Don James puts experience in there. We see Napoleon Kaufman somewhere down the road probably later today. Aaron Mills with his first kickoff in college football at this level of competition. Hits it high, hangs it up. Smith at the 14-yard line. Tommy Smith breaks it across the 30 to the 32. And there the Washington Huskies will go to work. The starting quarterback is Billy Joe Hobart. Nope, he ain't from Texas. He is from Puyallup. He's making his first collegiate start. He's a big guy who weighs 231 pounds. The rest of the backfield behind him will line up with Jay Barry and Matt Jones. New names, yes, because the injuries have really chipped away at the Washington offense. The scheduled tailback, Bino Bryant, will play some today probably if he has a very sore leg and Barry takes his place. First play of the ball game for the Huskies is a possession-type pass. It's good across the 35 to the 36. Mario Bailey making the catch, so Billy Joe Hobart with a confidence builder. The Husky offensive front is big enough, thank you. The 2 tackles you can see, both over 300 pounds. A lot has been said about Stanford's big offensive front, but as you can see, the Huskies, too, are a caterer's dream. 3rd down and 5. They'll go inside with it, and Jay Barry, a 190-pound junior out of North Glen, Colorado, is brought down by strong safety John Lynch for Stanford. Lynch is a former quarterback, and this is a continuing story you're going to hear today, because a lot of these Stanford defensive players have been moved around from offensive positions. It's easier to recruit offensive players than it is defensive players. Tommy Connect, for example, is a former quarterback, and he's up along the line of scrimmage today. The defensive secondary is a little bit green, so they may look at it and pick away at it as they go on 4th and 2, stay with a ground game, and Barry carries out to the 44-yard line, and the Huskies have a 1st down. Washington in white, Rose Bowl winner a year ago, looking to repeat as Pac-10 champions. I think, and I frankly have said it publicly, I think it's a team that will contend for the national championship, but this game right here today is one of the biggest bumps in their road. Stanford team getting better all the time under Denny Green. Here is the handoff inside. Good move by the tailback Barry, who's getting most of the work. And they are not at the moment showing the kind of one-back offense that we thought we were going to see. We thought Matt Jones was going to be the guy back there, but Barry has stepped up, having concluded practice in good style, and he's getting the early carries.
Here's a look at Washington offensively in the Pac-10 last year. Tops in 5 different categories.
They had trips to the bottom of the screen. Big defensive play by the Stanford Cardinal is number 42, Dave Garnett. Garnett, one of their premier defenders, came from the inside linebacker position blitzing, and he nailed Barry for a loss.
Garnett played on the outside last year for the Cardinal. This year he's moved inside because of the lack of depth inside. Had 16 tackles for losses last year. Gets his first one of the 1991 season.
Well, it won't go down as a loss. They marked the football right at the 44. Back goes Billy Joe, strong arm, powerful man, but he is short. The wideout, Aaron Pierce, the tight end, actually had turned to the outside, and he turned short of the marker, and he's not going to have the 1st down. When you're going for the possession pass, looking for your 1st down, you got to know where the lines are, and he didn't, and he's short.
Well, the thing to remember right here for Don James's Huskies is that the quarterback, Billy Joe Hobart, is also the punter. So a lot of possibilities here.
Hobart taking over the job that was held previously by Channing Wild, but Washington has some history of quarterback punters and great success. Hobart hit it a mile high, forcing Glenn Milburn to get a crick in his neck before the ball finally came down. So Stanford will take over after a 27-yard punt.
Getting to know you.
Getting to know all about you.
Not long ago, Honda and Toyota were known for the highest mileage. But today, there's Geo, the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know.
A company can learn a lot in 125 years. Valvoline has. You learn in the lab, you learn on the road, you learn on the racetrack. As you learn, you make your product better. And better, and better. Today's Valvoline will keep your engine cleaner than ever before. And cleaner means more protection against engine wear. 125 years of quality. That's why people who know use Valvoline.
Oh, he looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent girl.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
None. You?
Just one.
What?
That I waited 25 years to give you this.
The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
The Cowboys fight is going to be a boogie down in Dallas Monday night.
Off this Stanford start at their 20 of their strengths.
So the passing attack, Dennis Green was with Bill Walsh at San Francisco 49ers. They like the short, quick passes. For Washington, the #1 defense in the nation against the run, led every defensive category in the Pac-10 did the Huskies defense.
Huskies show a 5-man front. They'll send 8 sometimes. They force Columbus into a quick throw, and he throws the ball into the crowd on the far side, and a penalty flag is thrown over there. Jim Fogeltantz, the referee.
He's trying to get the ball downfield to one of the wide receivers who was jammed out of bounds.
They've called interference against Washington. Walter Bailey defending against Chris Walsh, so the flag thrown, I guess, on that particular play. Columbus is from Lake Oswego, Oregon. He's known around his hometown as the Greek with the golden arm, and he's certainly building himself quite a career here at Stanford. Behind him, the Cardinal will line up this way in the offensive backfield. Milburn is quick as a hummingbird. I mean, he can do everything you could ask of a football player. Vardell's specialty is to stick his head in the stack and stick it in the end zone, and he does it well. And as usual, they can catch the ball. Ryan Wetnight is a Trent junior college man who has come in. Stanford has 5 JC people on the roster this year, and that was a surprise to me because you don't normally see that here, but there's a reason for it, and we've got a comment from Coach Green about it later. Right now, it is Stanford's ball out on the 25-yard line, and you got a false start. First game of the season, remember.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Still first down.
So they back them up 5. They go back to the original line of scrimmage now, where it's going to be first down and 15, as Dennis Green talking with the linesman over there, banging away on his ear.
Well,
politicking early.
No, what he's saying is that was the in man on the line. The tight end was the guy that moved.
Looked to me like the 2 or 3 of them moved. Here's the handoff, goes to Glenn Milburn. Milburn runs right into Big Dave Hockman, who is from San Jose, and that linebacking core for the Washington Huskies, they're something special. There's 6 of them, and they almost have their own union. It's about as good as 6 linebackers I've ever seen on one football team. The offensive front for Stanford. Now look at this. I ask you, how would you like to sell the bedding to those guys?
The bedding or the caterer, right?
Yeah. Just make overalls for them. They didn't miss many meals. So with that loss, we've got second down and long. They dump it off down and short of the 30-yard line. The pass is caught by Pinckney in one of those possession-type passes, and John Columbus has his first Jason Columbus has his first completion of the day. He's a big guy at 6'3" and 210, so he can look over some of these defenders. But Washington offers good size, and in particular, number 90, Steve Entman. Boy, he's something to watch. There's 3 of those 6 linebackers for the Huskies. And the secondary, there have been some changes back there. You can see that Sean Paukoa won that safety job from Tommy Smith, and he starts today. Third down and 6. Columbus, good catch. Good catch. One-hander by Wetnight, the tight end. He is from Fresno, and he's a little bit short of the first down.
Wetnight is one of the junior college transfers, Keith, you referred to a little earlier. Outstanding catch. Unfortunately for Stanford, just a little bit short, it appears, of the first down.
No score in the ball game, just getting things going here in game number 1. Washington, ranked number 4 in the nation, going in.
They made it.
They give him.
Good effort to get upfield after he caught the ball. He broke a little bit short, but outstanding catch and a great effort to get the first down.
About half the ball. So the nose of the ball virtually touching the 35-yard line. First down for the Cardinals. They pick away. Vardell, Milburn, and Leslie. 3 running backs on the field. It goes to 44, Tommy Vardell. All right, now we told you he's the guy on the goal line. There's a good reason for it. He weighs 235 pounds. Now let's join our colleague Jack Arute.
Keith, you know, throughout the year, Stanford has not really lately been a contender for the Pac-10 championship, but they can always be counted on a given Saturday afternoon for scoring an upset. Well, Denny Green wants to change that. He wants to make them a contender for the Pac-10 championship. He issued each of his team players this T-shirt this year that says 60, family, and commitment. 60 minutes of football. They're all family, and a commitment to win on every Saturday.
And it's second down. The pass thrown underneath. The pass is incomplete. Good defensive play against Chris Walsh by Walter Bailey. Bailey was penalized his first time in playing against Walsh. This time he made the good play. I guess everybody must have played, huh, at Penn State. 81-0. That's terrible. But nothing you can do once a game is on.
Well, I'm sure Paterno did not try and run the score up. Probably had his 4th and 5th teams in there. And if the other team can't stop you, what are you to do?
That's right. Syracuse figures to be a factor out of the East this year. Third down and 10 for Stanford. Columbus with time. Pass is thrown. Pass is caught by Pinckney, a senior from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And he looks like he's going to have another Stanford first down.
Well, that's going to be really close, Keith. Pinckney, the flanker on this ball club, caught 23 passes last year. And they're going to move the chains for Denny Green's ball club. He was with Bill Walsh, the ex-San Francisco 49er coach for 3 years. Picked up a lot of the system from the 49ers, has implemented it here with the Cardinal. They are pass first and run second.
Milburn now is the man at the bottom of the screen. He's a wideout in this particular set. Very dangerous. They stay inside with the big man. Vardell Tommy is to midfield. He picked up 5 yards on the carry, so they are finding room against the Washington defense as Jaime Fields makes the tackle for the Huskies. Fields number 3, Hoffman 54, Fraley 39, the starting backers.
The one thing that the Cardinal wants to do is get the ball to Glenn Milburn. He's the tailback in this set. Was the flanker previously, has been in every setup so far except the tight end in this offense.
He's got the ball. Bounces outside. Finds a crack. Picks up 3. Maybe 4. Chico Fraley brings him down. He is so quick, and when he gets tucked away behind those huge men up in front of him, he's hard to find.
Take a look at some of that line play. As we mentioned, the Huskies like to get up there and make things happen. Very aggressive defense. Etman is number 90. Good blocking on the left side by that offensive line for Stanford, Whitfield, and Cassidy on the left.
All right, this is a Vardell play here. 3rd and short, double tight end alignment. Give it to the big man. Doesn't get there. Huskies stunned. Read where he was going, and they stop him cold. It'll bring up 4th down and close to 2.
Well, that's exactly what Jim Linebright, the defensive coordinator for the Huskies, wants, and that is penetration, get across the line of scrimmage, make things happen in the offense's backfield. That time, the entire right side of the defense was across the line of scrimmage, nowhere for Vardell to run.
Hunter is in the game. Paul Stonehouse. Bino Bryant has gone back. We were told that Bino would return punts, and he's back there. They kick it away from him and kick it out of bounds. And they will mark it out of bounds just inside the Washington 20.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Here's what's happening with the Associated Press top 10. Michigan, BC just getting underway with the Golden Eagles jumping to the lead over the highly touted Wolverines. That could be a trap, you know. A lot of people get caught looking ahead or not taking folks too seriously. I'll give you Southern California.
Yeah, first game of the year, Keith, is very tough. The coaches don't know whether they've overtrained or undertrained, got their guys in shape, wore them down.
Hobart turns around and hands the ball off to Jay Barry. And Barry continues to be the workhorse for the Huskies and doesn't find much there. He'll move it from maybe 2 yards over play. I'm kind of anticipating seeing Matt Jones carry the ball because I keep hearing stories that he has tremendous potential. Hobart still got it. Big guy throws, pass caught. Wasn't pretty, but it worked. Matt Jones coming out of the backfield makes the catch, and the Huskies have a first down. And here's Roger Twyble.
Thank you very much, Keith. First ever meeting between Michigan and Boston College. The game at Chestnut Hill, and early in the first quarter, Glenn Foley finds Keith Miller 24 yards on the touchdown pass, and the Eagles go up on top of the Wolverines 7-0. Let's go back to Keith.
Thanks, Roger. Here's Hobart, turns around, penalty flag. Up the middle goes Barry, breaks the play, picks up a first down, may get wiped out for the flag. While they are assessing it, let me tell you the rest of the officials. Offside, nope, going to go against Stanford, so the play will undoubtedly stand. We told you that Jim Vogeltantz is the referee. Jim Coyne is the umpire. Jim Wren, the head linesman. Fred Gallagher, the line judge. Harvey Jones, the field judge. The side judge is Dan Spriesterbach. And the back judge is Dave Katayan. Ball handed to the up man, Jones. He'll pick up a couple of yards running inside. Tyler Batson got the first hit on him. He's 6'5", 260-pound senior from Del Mar, California. Time remaining first quarter, 5 minutes and 20 seconds, and we have no score. It was a blowout for the Huskies a year ago, also on this field. Doesn't figure to be that today. Billy Joe back to throw, hums one. Pass is good. First down Huskies. Stanford 35-yard line. Orlando McKay, the senior from Mesa, Arizona.
Well, McKay's got lots of speed. To the right side of the field, he's just going to go down and run a curl. 4.4 speed on the track team. In fact, qualified for the NCAA 400 meters. Got to respect that speed.
Hobart now 4 for 4, 43 yards.
18-yard pickup, first and 10 for the Huskies.
Ball just inside the Stanford 35. They go to Barry. Barry gets a couple. Then he has rolled back with Garnett helping the rollback. ABC's college football next Saturday has Notre Dame at Michigan. That'll be live at 12:30 Pacific and 2:30 Central. And then after timeout for news and other things, we'll come right back at 6 o'clock Pacific time and 8 Central time with Penn State, Southern California. All here on ABC Sports. Billy Joe Hobart has a man on the sidelines. It is Mario Bailey. Bailey spinning to the inside. Can't get away, but he does pick up a first down, and he caught the ball in front of Darian Gordon.
Gordon is one of those converted offensive players for Coach Dennis Green. There's a look at the receiver. He's just going to go down and break to the outside. Here's the cornerback that was last year played offensive receiver. Just goes down, runs a quick out to the outside of the field, short side of the field, picks up about 10.
Ball is at the 23, first down. Hobart turns, gives the ball to Barry. Barry into the middle. First hit comes from number 36 for the Stanford Cardinal. That's Tom Williams, a senior out of Fort Worth, Texas. See, this is the thing that's a little bit deceptive sometimes about the way Don James sends this Washington offense to work. He picked up 4 yards. It didn't look like anything. but he got 4 yards.
Well, as long as you can pick up 4 yards on each down, you'll be all right.
In pretty good shape. Hobart going to the air, throws underneath. Ball goes to McKay. McKay is caught instantly at the 15, and that leaves him 2 yards short of the first down. Vaughn Bryant the play. Here's Jack again.
Keith, I feel kind of like a shoe salesman. You know, this year, Washington has gone to black shoes. Now, the normal shoe you use on turf has spikes, but look at the kind of shoe the interior linemen are using. It looks almost like a golf shoe. It's got a bunch of cleats into it. They say that it gives them better stability when they're trying to block.
Can't use them on my greens.
They're broader, aren't they?
Hobart option, big guy, 230 pounds, turns to the 10, got a first down. So while they move the chains, let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can identify themselves.
This is KOMO TV4 Seattle.
Hobart is marked just short of the 10, so they will be able to acquire enough real estate for a first down without scoring, as if that matters at this particular
First on the 11.
Jay Barry. He took a pretty good lick right on the 10-yard line, and again it's Tom Williams in there in a hurry. I've not called Tommy Connect's name as yet. He is playing what amounts to a weak side linebacker position. Former quarterback who had been in the defensive backfield. He only weighs 195 pounds. That's pretty light.
Well, Connect is one of the 2 quarterbacks, former quarterbacks that were on the depth chart last year's quarterback playing on the defense.
Hobart lobs it. End zone, no. The pass intended for Mario Bailey. Close. Mario's only 5'9", so he would pretty much used all of his height.
Hobart, this is a nice throw. There's not much, you couldn't have thrown this much better. The receiver just didn't get any separation between he and the cornerback for the quarterback to put it in there.
That was the one rap on Billy Joe going into the fall camp. Touch. He showed you touch right there. Yeah. Want to put it up again. Got a little dancing feet, but he hung in there and hit his man down on the 5-yard line. Sayon Albert keeps Mario Bailey out of the end zone. Now, if we get ourselves into a circumstance where we're going to see a field goal try, we're going to give you a chance right here to assess what the rules makers have done to the college kickers. Now, what Travis Hansen is going to be looking at here is almost half as much of a target as he had last year, because the goalposts have been whittled down from 23-4 to 18-6. The hash marks in college are at ball is fumbled on the snap, and Stanford's going to come up with it, and the whole thing goes awry. But the angle is so acute because of the college hash marks with the reduced size of the goalpost that it's going to make it very difficult.
The holder is Bjornsson, the backup quarterback. It's a little bit of a high snap. He just does not handle it. Hansen doesn't have a chance to kick it between the narrow goalposts. And that is a blown chance by the Washington Huskies.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
I don't know how you expect to sell this stuff. It's too plain. There's no excitement. You're gonna need some flash here. You know, fancy commercials with big rock stars, catchy jingles, stuff like that. Now hang on, I like this. It's not plain, it's simple. Honest. Hey, an honest cereal called?
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Taste them again for the first time.
Everything else is
just hot air. You know, the Stanford University football team has a long history of great quarterbacks, but only Jim Plunkett has won a Heisman, a Rose Bowl, and Super Bowl MVPs. The Washington defense asserts itself on that play as Tyrone Rogers and Steve Empman get a call as they came pounding through. Now, Tyrone Rogers is a junior out of Carson, California. Went off to the Midwest to Oklahoma and then came back here, as did Glenn Milburn. But he was at one time a teammate of the huge man on the front for Stanford, Bob Whitfield, number 70. So they're kind of squared off today.
Pretty good looking defense for the Huskies. Last year led the Pac-10 in 10 defensive categories.
Columbus's pass is deflected by Dave Hoffman, linebacker. Slapped it down as he dropped into the short zone. He's wound up tight as a drum today because he comes from San Jose, which is just down the road.
Well, Hoffman led this team in tackles last year also, Keith. In fact, he replaced James Clifford, an inside linebacker who was hurt, was all out now all of last year with a knee injury, who had led the team in tackles the year before. So a lot of linebacker depth for the Huskies.
It's 3rd down and 17 now for the Stanford Cardinals. The Huskies have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys up there. They're going after it. They make him move. The pass is thrown high, and it is incomplete. If he had caught it, it would have been out of bounds, and the receiver, Chris Walsh, took a pretty good lick from Talele.
Well, take a look at what Columbus is seeing in the pocket right here. You see there's some gaps for him to look through, and to step up, has to throw it over one linebacker and in front of the defensive back, and it's a nice play. Incompletion, punting the ball away.
Stonehouse to punt it out of his end zone. Tommy Smith is standing back just inside the it's Vino Bryant inside the 45. The kick is away. It's a good kick. It runs Bryant back to the Washington side. Turns at the 47, comes back across the 50 and goes down at the Stanford 48. And Vince Odopal makes the tackle for Stanford. 40-yard punt and a 4-yard return. At the conclusion of today's game, the Chevrolet most valuable player from each team for the 21st year. Chevrolet, through its scholarship program, donating $1,000 to the general scholarship fund of each school. You got a penalty flag down on the field. They're talking about it.
And it's against Stanford. I think Washington may ask Stanford to punt that ball again.
Look at that score, Bob.
Mississippi State over Texas. Final.
Jackie Sherrill. Ohio State's been pummeled pretty good with a lot of noise over that Robert Smith situation. Columbus been buzzing about that. They are going to make him kick again because they'd like to have Bryant get that ball with a little room to run.
Vino Bryant, number 29, was number 2 in the nation last year in punt returns. He returned 3 punts for touchdowns.
Deep in his end zone, Stonehouse looking down the field, knowing all about Vino Bryant. And boy, he hit that one too. Dead solid. Spins it nicely. Runs Bryant back across midfield again, but this time he got a little crease.
Almost.
Turned on the burners and brings it back inside the 40 to the Stanford 38. 43-yard punt, 11-yard return. First quarter is over, and we have no score.
Your biggest competitor is working on a proposal for the same job you're after.
You want this to be enlarged?
They have about the same idea as you do.
Copy this slide.
The only difference is...
Let's print it.
They own a Canon color laser copier, and you don't. Who would you give the job to? If you think you can't afford a Canon color laser copier, maybe you can't afford to be without one. Call 1-800-OK-CANON.
Getting to know you.
Geostorm. Great way to get away. 16
Hello, road. The turns, the hills. This is it.
Get to know Geostorm and Tame Wild Road.
Now this could be contagious.
Catch one now at your Chevrolet Geo dealer. Getting to know you.
Everything that flies needs fuel. Jetliners get theirs from BP, one of the nation's largest suppliers of aviation fuel. At 300 airports around the country, we supply the fuel and help keep the airlines humming. BP.
Finally, a golf video that meets the real challenges faced by the average golfer. Chi-Chi's bag of tricks in and out of trouble with Chi-Chi Rodriguez. One of the most popular figures in the world of golf offers simple solutions to the unavoidable hazards of the game.
Now, if you can learn to hit those shots, you can save a lot of strokes.
To order your video cassette, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Chi-Chi Rodriguez help your game.
Ole!
As we go to the second quarter, Washington is obviously in an advantageous posture, owning the ball first down at the Stanford 38-yard line. The Huskies had a threat, were turned away on a snap on a field goal try as it was fumbled. Now they've got a second opportunity. Billy Joe Hobart gets blindside pressure, throws the knuckleball down the field, and it is incomplete. And Hobart took a pretty good lick from that pursuit coming from the blind side.
Well, it's coming from the left side. Number 14 is Connect. He is the quarterback, ex-quarterback, hitting another quarterback. Good pressure. Hobart's got a strong arm. The problem wasn't that he didn't have enough arm strength. He just had to rush the ball.
Jason Fisk, that nose guard, 260-pound sophomore out of Davis, California, put that helmet right under his chin. Second down and 10. Drills it. Pass is caught by Gaspard. And Curtis has a first down for the Huskies inside the Stanford 25.
Well, let's take a look. First quarter, not much happening. The Huskies missed that field goal because of the poor, not much there. They dominated in plays. They led in first downs. Rushing plays, only 1 yard rushing for Stanford.
Hobart stays in the air, goes to McKay. McKay splits defenders, gets to the 15-yard line. Picked up on the play, close to 9 yards. Williams and Bryant bringing him down. So Washington, with Darius Turner gone and with Bino Bryant dinged up, they used Jay Barry quite a bit early on. Now they've got Matt Jones out there in a single back. Now they add Barry. So Barry is back. Jones is the up back. Barry's got the ball, runs over the left side and picks up the first down. Normally when they are in a short yardage situation, they're going to go to the left side because you got big old Lincoln Kennedy over there, 6'7", 325 pounds.
Well, this Washington offense, as we mentioned, a lot of starters back from last year, 8 of them, but a couple of them are hurt. When you look at Kennedy, their offensive line average is 6'5" and 295 pounds, and you'd think they were the biggest on the field today, but they're not. Stanford just a little bigger.
Not much, though. This is Barry. He's going to score. It looked like he was totally confused, didn't it? He was wandering around back there, and finally Hobart said, why don't you stop there and I'll give you the ball? And he scored.
He was stumbling through the hole there, Keith, I believe. Take a look at the blocking up front. Everybody straight blocking. No guards or tackles or pulling. Garnett, 42, misses. That's 17 is Lynch, the ex-quarterback, not making the play, and Barry gets into the end zone with the first score of the afternoon.
Yeah, but you missed the fun of the play was because Barry was lined up way outside as a wideout, and they had to yell at him to come back and set in the backfield. Here's the kick by Henson. It's good.
You think if it was going to call your number for a touchdown, you'd know where to line up, right?
Certainly think so. Huskies take the lead, 7-0.
Bulletin from Chevy Truck. Now get $1,000 cash back on every new 1991 Chevy full-size. The best cash back offer on America's best-selling pickup. Now through September 25th, $1,000 on every new 1991 Chevy full-size pickup. Every half-ton, three-quarter ton, 1 ton. Every two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, all with $1,000 cash back. You must take retail delivery from dealer stock by September 25th. See your Chevy dealer for details and get $1,000 cash back now.
Oh, Father, I think you're drenched. What's the matter, lad?
Well, Monsignor, it looks like I couldn't raise the money to save the orphanage after all. I guess I'm a failure.
Going to Hollywood after all.
Blush it, Janice.
There's a buck, Butter. It's an honest buck.
Like Larry Milligan from Wall Street.
Stocks and bonds. I've invested in their future.
All you needed was a little faith, lad.
Friends, Monsignor. It's great to have friends.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, and buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on number 2 Michigan in a college football classic next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Jay Barry getting the touchdown, had some fun leading to it. Now, we've got that queued up. I want you to see it because I definitely had the feeling he didn't really know where he was until Billy Joe yelled at him. It may have been a set play. I don't know for sure. It certainly gave the impression that it was not. Here's Mr. Danger. Danger for the Huskies, Glenn Milburn. Multi-purpose back if there ever was one. He's pretty much in the cut of your Volpe and Darren Nelson and yeah, those kind of guys. Vinnie White.
Eric Metcalf.
Yep. Little guys that can really do a lot of things.
Had a big day against Washington last year.
That's a high, long kickoff by Travis Hansen. 3 yards deep in the end zone, and they'll bring it out to the 20. Let's go back to the touchdown. Now watch that fellow in motion here.
Here's Barry right here. Notice there are no backs left in the backfield. Now watch the quarterback right here. He's going to raise his arm and say, hey, come on back in. Come on back in. Oh, yeah, I got to run the ball. This is my play. Now, what this does sometimes, when they see no backs in the backfield, they'll call a defense a certain type of defense. When you bring the running back back in there, they've already called the defense, and if they don't check back to something to protect against a run, you can have problems defensively.
Certainly did. First down for Stanford with Lashley and Vardell lined up in the backfield, and the tight end Wet Knight goes in motion. Give it to Vardell, the big man, 235-pounder, and he pounds away up to about the 24-yard line. Well, Boston College, that was beaten by Rutgers a week ago, has jumped out to a 10-0 lead over Michigan. Florida. I think Florida, personally, has almost as good a chance as anybody to get a piece of the national championship.
Steve Spurrier has done an outstanding job. Gets a lot of the recruits out of the state of Florida.
They end the season against Florida State at Gainesville. Lashley's out. Milburn is back now for the Cardinal. Jason Columbus checks off. Changes the play. Going to put it up. Milburn has it. And they chase him out of bounds, but not before he tiptoes down the field for a first down. Here's Jack for a moment.
Keith will update you on that play that looked like it might have been a miscue. You were trying to decide whether it was or wasn't. It's not in the playbook. They actually lined up wrong, and that's why Billy Joe had to call him back into the backfield. A little remedial work right now.
I love it. That's college football. Improvisation. First down for Stanford. 33-yard line, a little delay. Columbus back, sets up, goes deep down the middle, and it is incomplete. Chris Walsh under a full head of steam, and the ball just trickles off his grasping fingers.
Well, to beat Washington, Stanford's going to need some big plays. Walsh not known for his speed, but that ball could have been caught. They lost their speed guy last year in Ed McCaffrey. McCaffrey was an outstanding player, a third-round draft choice by the New York Giants, but those are plays that you need to make if you're going to beat somebody like Washington.
Second down and 10. Stanford ball at their own 33. Washington leading second quarter 7-0. Vardell is hit quickly by Tulele. Paxton Tulele, the roverback from Hawaii, steps in there at that position at 210 pounds and put a good solid hit on the big man. It'll be third down and 7. Play on real grass here at the farm. It's one of the best grass fields in the country.
Third and 7.
Didn't work. Vardell taken on by Chico Fraley and taken down by Fraley. Fraley plays that inside backer position at only 210, 15 pounds, and he has to drink milkshakes every day to keep his weight up to that.
Well, he has a lot of speed at that inside linebacker spot. In fact, he was a high school hurdler.
Bryant goes back for Stonehouse punt here with 11:35 to play in the first half, and the Huskies are leading 7-0. Kick is high, got pretty good spin on it. This kid's a good punter. Just at the 29-yard line, Bryant gets a block on the corner, another block on the corner, and finally is knocked out of bounds at the Stanford 48-yard line. 39-yard punt, 24-yard return, 15 net. Fraley gave him a big block to get him going.
Today, a guy losing his hair can choose between being the man he wants to be.
We look great with hair. Do something to save it.
And the man he could become.
Can't you accept nature like everyone else?
Doctors have hair loss treatment programs that are proven to work. And the sooner you see a doctor, the better.
We don't want nature. We want hair.
When you've considered the arguments.
We might look great bald.
And you decide you want hair. There's only one thing to do. See your doctor. Or call this number for more information.
Not long ago, one of the first Lumina sedans was bought by a family of 5. They said they liked the gas mileage, all the room it had, and they liked the price. Since then, the Lumina sedan has quickly become the best-selling new car name in America. Apparently, a lot of people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Now it's easy to win with a heartbeat.
Coming this fall, ABC opens the files of 80 years of FBI investigations.
A federal district judge was shot and killed.
From kidnapping to murder, find out how America's most notorious criminals were captured.
I can see his eyes.
Their paranoia played into our hands.
Experience firsthand the high-stakes, high-tech game of federal law enforcement.
She was told to take it to her grave.
He knew he would get a life sentence.
FBI, the untold stories coming this fall.
Located in the heart of the campus here at Stanford University, and the cornerstone of the quad is the Stanford Memorial Church. They broke the ground for it in 1899 and completed it in 1903, and it stands today drawing thousands of viewers because of its exquisite exterior mosaic. It really is something to see. Washington goes to work with Bino Bryant lining up at the tailback position, number 29 carrying the ball. But after that last run, it looked like he was healthy enough, so he's going to get some time. They have started this possession just inside the 48-yard line, so I would presume it'll be called the 47 of Stanford, and a gain on the play of about 1.5 yards.
Billy Joe Holbert starting his first game at quarterback, 9 of 11, 89 yards, off to a good start.
Little quick drop, little quick pop, goes to McKay. And McKay gets past the marker and picks up the first down. Vaughn Bryant was over there, got him out of bounds.
No.
10 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the first half of play, with the Huskies leading 7-0. There have been some big scores, and there have bен some surprises in this first full weekend of college football action. So far, form is holding here. Hobart throwing a lot. Has the man. That's McKay. He had run a slant, and he was wide open right in front of Darian Gordon. And it's another Washington first down at the Stanford 21.
Just a basic slant. The wide receiver coming in, the tight end going to the outside. Most of the passes that Hobart is throwing are short to medium range passes, quick drops, easy high percentage passes to get Hobart started off on the right foot.
Hand off. Bryant. He looks a little tender with that sore knee. Esteban Avila made the tackle for Stanford. All four of Washington's possessions have either gone into or started in Stanford territory. I guess the point I want to make here is that Billy Joe Hobart has had a pretty good comfort zone so far in the ball game.
Good point. It's much easier to start with good field position than it is backed up inside your own 20-yard line.
Hobart pumps, throws. That could have been a flag there. Looked like flag time to me, but didn't work out that way. It's Gordon and McKay.
Look at the top of your screen right along the 10-yard line. The defensive man, as long as the offensive guy is in front of him and has a threat to block him, can jam him. The offensive guy obviously can't push off if the ball's in the air. The key is the ball in the air or not?
I thought that might have gone against McKay. He may have been the one with his arms extended. Billy Joe Hobart throws, and they miss connections, and this time they get a flag. Number 17, Curtis Gaspard, was down, tangled up with Vaughn Bryant, and they have flagged Bryant.
I think that is a good call because the ball was in the air. Bryant came underneath him, almost undercut him as the ball was being thrown.
So it's a 15-yard penalty and a first down in college football.
Going to see the end of this. Bryant, number 4, is the defensive back in red. Now he hits him in the lower back just a little bit before the ball gets there. Obviously, that's an interference call.
They'll put the ball down at the 7-yard line where it'll be first and goal for the Washington Huskies. A little bit of a change in the rules this year, too, on your 4th down fumble, which has always been one of the more confusing rules in the book. But only the player who has fumbled the ball can recover and advance the ball anywhere on the field this year. Anywhere. Here's the pitch back to Bean O'Brien. Turns the corner. Touchdown, Huskies. No flag. The guards are new along the offensive front for Washington. Chris Rongin and Pete Caligas. But one of them pulled out there and opened the door.
72 is Rongin. Gets out and around, seals it off to the inside, and Bryant has enough speed to beat Lynch to the corner for the touchdown.
Field position, field position. My goodness. Bryant was the man who gave him their field position to start the possession. He gets the touchdown. Hanson knocks the extra point through. At 9:43 to go, first half, 14-0 Washington.
When you buy a Super Color Special TV antenna from Radio Shack, you get a great value. And Radio Shack has everything you need to make installation easy. Best of all, you get Super Color's advanced technology for the clearest picture and sound possible. Reception so lifelike. It's incredible.
Hey, great picture, huh, Howie?
And Super Color antennas are here just in time for football. 2 great antennas for city, suburban, or long range from $24.88. Only at Radio Shack, America's technology store.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. Introducing the new Fram Extra Guard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
It's Monday Night Madness from the unforgettable.
Touchdown! William Perry!
To the most regrettable. To the fun and the boot.
Didn't know you cared.
The very best of ABC's Monday Night Football is now available on home video. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR for Monday Night Madness any night of the week. Only $19.98 plus $3 for shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
There's the big hitter for the Huskies so far, Bino Bryant. As far as Stanford is concerned, it's been a question of whatever happened to Glenn Milburn. He's back on the goal line waiting for the kickoff right now, but he has been very quiet so far in this ballgame.
He's touched the ball 3 times. He's run it twice for 2 yards, and he caught 1 pass for 9. And as I mentioned earlier, had a big day last year against Washington. And, of course, Don James, Jim Lambright, defensive coordinator, knew that. There's a look at what he did. 299 all-purpose yards. Had a punt return, caught 7 passes for 103.
Travis Hansen kicks off now. Low liner, and it's drilled hard. To Milburn, a yard deep in the end zone. Coming out. Down he goes at the 36, 37-yard line. That's the kind of player he is. He scares you to death if you're wearing the other color. Monday night at 9 Eastern Time, ABC's Monday Night Football gives you one of the old matchups in the NFL, the Washington Redskins and the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys looking better and better. Winners in their opening outing, and there's some folks who think the Redskins can win it all this year.
I'll tell you what, Jimmy Johnson and his staff, most of those coming from the University of Miami, taking Troy Aikman from UCLA, doing an outstanding job.
Columbus throws, passes caught by Walsh. Chris Walsh is inside the Washington 45. First down, Cardinal at the 44 with Hall and Paukoa making the stop.
This is typical 49er passing attack that the Stanford offense has copied. Quick passing, quick drops, short, quick passes. Don't let the defensive line get to you.
San Jose, you saw against Florida, has scored the first 5 games for San Jose's on the road. Tommy Vardell carries. And he will get the advance to near the Washington 41-yard line. You know, Impman, number 90, Steve, has been kept pretty quiet so far in this ball game. So the big uglies up front for the Stanford offensive line doing a pretty good job on him.
Well, they are, but you know, Impman is a type of guy that can play a whole ball game, only get 4 or 5 tackles, and free up the linebackers. In other words, 2 offensive linemen have to block him, and that leaves the linebacker behind him free to make the play. He was the defensive player of the year, co-defensive player of the year last year.
Milburn falls down after the catch. Down around the Washington 37-yard line in front of Brett Collins. No, Brett Collins was on the quarterback. But Milburn had no chance to run it because he was committed to the catch, and as he made the catch, his feet were gone. Brett Collins, incidentally, a 5th-year senior from Portland, Oregon, who was putting the pressure on the quarterback from Lake Oswego, Oregon, started as a freshman in linebacker. He's been around a while, and he's in the backup role right now. That's how deep they are at that particular position. It's 3rd and 4. Columbus has time, throws incomplete, and screaming is Pinckney, and doesn't get a call. Dana Hall is the man that made the defensive play for Washington.
That's close. Too close to call from here.
No contact, though. He can be there as long as there's no contact.
Well, he knocked the ball away with his left arm. You wonder where his right one was, but the official on the field had to make the call. Columbus now 7 of 12 for 92 yards.
4th down, they'll go. Draws a round of applause from the crowd. Passes away. The pass is caught by Pinckney for a first down at the Washington 27-yard line.
It's a great throw right here. Defensive man in great position to make the play. Here's the receiver right here. The outside man is going to clear it out. The inside receiver is going to break it outside. This man here is going to be all over him. As Columbus rolls out, everything shows pass to the right side. He almost cuts underneath it. And a big first down for Stanford.
Milburn in motion. Columbus, quick drop, lobs it up, and it is incomplete. Walsh, the man running under it, defending Walter Bailey. It'll be second down and 10.
23, Bailey getting a good jam on Walsh to disrupt the timing of that play. It's one thing about being a wide receiver. You've got to be able to beat the jams and the bumps. The Washington defense, very aggressive. High pressure type of defense. 8 and 9 men at the line of scrimmage, and the corners have got to be able to cover man to man.
Check with me, calls it at the line of scrimmage, having had a look at the Washington defense. Sets back, throws quickly, drills it between 2 defenders, and Chris Walsh comes up with it. Outstanding catch, concentration by Walsh.
And a good throw by Columbus. He saw the defense, checked off, sent his star, the guy that Washington has to worry about, and that is Milburn, out to the left side, and then hit a little pop pass to the right side to Walsh.
And it's first down, Stanford at the Husky 16, with Washington leading 14-0. All the scoring has come in the second quarter. First real threat here by Stanford. This is Milburn. He's tough.
Unbelievable.
Ball is at the 5. It's first and goal, Cardinals.
Take a look at it from behind the defense, low angle. The guards cross at Gallman, number 50. And remember, this man is 5'9" and 175 pounds. Broke 2 tackles and almost broke a third for a touchdown.
Vardell is in there. He's a specialist in short yardage plays. But I want to tell you that there was a fair to middle and crunching sound when he butted heads with big old Steve Entman.
It sounded as though that the Washington defensive line knew that too, that he's the guy they go to inside the 5-yard line.
Penalty flag thrown to the linesman over here on the near side.
You want to show that Vardell graphic inside the 10 scoring touchdowns?
Penalties against Stanford. I would think Washington might want to back them up since they're sitting down there first and goal on the 5.
We've got a graphic about Tommy Vardell. Scored 14 touchdowns. Let's get this call.
Illegal formation on the offense. Penalties refused. Second down.
That's cocky. I mean, that's not just confidence. That's cocky. They declined the penalty. It is second down and goal from the 5.
There's a graphic about Tommy Vardell. Scored 14 touchdowns last year. And the aggregate total of the yardage was 28 yards. He had 10 from 1-yard line. And then you see the rest. Only 1 from the 8-yard line, 8 yards out. He's the guy they like inside the 5.
Columbus rolls out, pressure's on, pass away. It is incomplete. Number 6 down under the ball is Pinckney, and Dana Hall, number 5 for Washington, was right there and almost picked it off.
Yeah, good defense here behind the defense. Pinckney, number 6, becomes the defensive man to try to knock the ball out of the Washington defender. Dana Hall.
It's third and goal.
Hall had 3 interceptions last year and thought he had his first one of the 1991 season.
That defense believes in itself. Here's Columbus back, has some time, throws a hammer, incomplete. That's why they declined the penalty. Well, I want to tell you something. You're just not going to see that many times where somebody gets a flag thrown on somebody on the second and goal at the goal line, and they turn it down. Here's the first try in college for Aaron Mills.
You know, one thing about that, too, Keith, this is a passing Stanford team. You back them up, you give them a little bit more room to throw the football.
True. Aaron Mills out of Steve Smith's hold. He is a sophomore from Satellite Beach, Florida. His kick is up, and he missed it. He missed it with 6:20 to play in the first half. It is still 14 Washington, Stanford nothing.
Well, this was a real concern last year. I mean, this week for Dennis Green and his staff was that they lost their field goal kicker, and the present kicker Mills had not been kicking too well in practice.
So the Cardinal have turned away.
That's a big boost for Washington and a big hurt for Stanford, moving that entire distance and not getting anything on the board.
Hand off to Jay Barry. And from the 20 to the 22.
That's a big downer, that play right there. Washington gets a big boost. Stanford has to regroup now, thinking they may get 7 out of that drive. Didn't even get 3.
Second down, 8. This is Barry. Penalty flag. And a little business going on after the man was down there. The men wearing the striped shirts have come armed this year with quick flags, particularly on certain kinds of plays. Personal foul. Going to back up the big guys in white. It's against Washington. Coming up at halftime. Scores and highlights. We'll look back at Memphis State's upset of Southern California last Monday in Los Angeles. We'll hear Dave Parry, the supervisor of officials out of the Big Ten, talking about that controversial taunting call that occurred in the East Carolina-Illinois game. We'll have that for you at halftime. .35 left to play in the first half. The ball is moved back just inside the 15-yard line with the penalty. And so it'll be 3rd down and 15 for Washington.
2nd and 15.
Ball carrier Barry wrestled down. Nebraska starting to roll against Utah State. Air Force and Colorado State got a good one going, and Georgia shutting out LSU. It brings up 4th down, and Billy Joe Hobart will be called on to punt. Freshman quarterback at Georgia, true freshman. Had a big week last week. I guess he's in there again. Back goes Milburn. Stanford should come out of here with pretty good field position. Hobart, good snap. Low kick, bad kick off the side of his foot, but it's a tail dragger, so it's a good bounce for Washington. And watch that Milburn. Oh, man.
He's in a hurry, isn't he?
He certainly is. 44-yard punt, including the bounce and roll, and a 23-yard return.
Here's a look at what Milburn did last year in the Pac-10. He is something special. Get him out in open field, broken field running, catch him, get him the ball out there, let him catch it, move down the field. That's what Denny Green and his offensive staff, Ron Turner, the offensive coordinator, like to do. But, of course, Washington has seen that act before and is trying to shut him down and has done it very well so far.
He's outside as a wideout right now. Now comes back across in motion. Stops short, gets the ball. Oh, bad pass by Columbus. I don't know if he was available or not, but it didn't work. Well, you know, you have a healthy respect for him, and especially if you're the coach of the Huskies. And here's what Don James told us yesterday about Mr. Milburn.
One of the most important things in trying to defend Glenn Milburn is to identify where he lines up. Because if you ever line up in a defense and you don't know where he is, there are subtle little things that they do with him, to either hand him the ball or to throw to him or to rub off defenders. And it's really important that we know where he is, just like when he's catching a punt or a kickoff. You've got to know where he is.
They give it to Vardell, and Vardell finds some daylight on the right side of the line. They double-teamed Impman over there and just ran right past him. The gain is down to the Washington 35. They need 4 more yards. Third down coming up. Tommy Smith is in there now at that free safety position. Alcoa getting some rest. Smith was the starter there last year. So Shane won the job.
Smith was the player of the year in the state of California a few years ago. Outstanding athlete.
Columbus pass underneath. Oh, here's the man from way down the field. Throw in a flag as interference is called as wet night, being covered by Chico Fraley. And off the contact. I don't know if that was a call. He looked like he was showing holding there. So maybe that wasn't the play. Call is holding, and it's against Washington.
Well, it's really hard to tell in college football who the holding is on.
Against the defense, 10 yards, automatic first down.
We saw Fraley and Whitnight, but we don't know if that was the call or whether it happened somewhere else on the field.
That automatic first down that had the bad ring to it for the Husky side. Both teams throwing the ball a lot. Stanford man was open. The pass intended for John Pinckney, and he just could not reel it in.
Well, we talk about the 8- and 9-man front for this defense. Look at these men. Nobody deep safety. This man is going to go straight down the field. Columbus reads it. The receiver gets downfield, and you hate to miss these types.
Oh, he was really open.
You just hate to see those go by the board. As a quarterback or receiver, offensive person.
Columbus, 1 completion in his last 6 tries. That's incomplete. Pinckney again, covered by Bailey.
The thing that this pressure defense of the Huskies does to you, Keith, is it forces your timing all out of whack. The quarterback had to throw a little bit quicker. The receiver was getting jammed. He didn't get off of his route just in time. Bailey doing a good job of jamming the receiver all the way down the field.
To the sidelines. Whitnight, the tight end. He makes the catch and he drags a foot inbounds, and it's 1st and goal, Stanford. Josh Moore had just come in, a redshirt freshman out of Torrance, California, number 7, and he was trying to cover the tight end, and Whitnight just outran him. Ryan is 6'3", 225 junior out of Fresno.
That was a great catch and a great effort to keep his feet in bounds. The coverage was there. Bottom right. Oh, good shot. Good shot. And a good catch.
1st and goal, Stanford. Washington 8. Vardell to the 5.
You know, if Stanford, Keith, can finish off this drive and get 7 points out of it, this is really a continuation of the drive before when they didn't get it in the end zone. They stopped Washington, forced them to punt. The good run back by Milburn. This is really a continuation of that other drive. If Green can get his troops in the end zone here, 14-7 at halftime, the importance of that missed field goal will be taken away by this drive.
Second down and goal. Ball just outside the 5. Columbus to Milburn to the goal line. Stopped short.
Milburn, the ball carrier.
Boy, I tell you, he doesn't need much of a crack.
The right guard, Dahlman, pulling a little trap inside, spread everybody out, quick trap up the middle.
Goal line defense hustles in now. Lustig comes in. Collins comes in.
Well, this is a big play here. 3rd and 1 on the 1. Green's offense is not a power offense by any stretch of the imagination. Your big back is Bardell. Do you give it to him? Washington knows where it's going.
You've got Wet Knight, the tight end, lined up in the backfield. Bardell dives. They don't give it to him. The big guys on the Husky defensive front got all hunkered down. Now it's touchdown.
So that's the umpire's call right there. You see him on one knee. He gets in there, finds the man at the bottom. If he's in the end zone, the umpire will make the call. Fraley is 39. Clifford is 53 behind the defense. Clifford gets in, makes the initial hit. And by the barest of margins, that's close.
I don't know. I mean, so much is made of breaking the plane. Now, either you break the plane early or you don't break the plane. You don't fall in later, do you?
Well, the problem is the side officials can't see it.
Kick. Aaron Mills is good. Stanford's on the board. It's a 14-7 ball game.
From its humble beginnings in 1861, the University of Washington has evolved into one of the great institutions of higher education in America. Its distinguished faculty includes Nobel laureate Hans Dehmelt and 31 members of the National Academy of Sciences. The UW is the most successful public university in the nation in competing for federal support for research and training. The University of Washington, where learning leads to a better tomorrow.
Here's a look at that last touchdown from the side. This is where the line judge and the side judge, they're trying to call a touchdown if he breaks the plane, if they can see it clearly. And when you go down in a mess, there's no way the officials on the side can tell whether he broke the plane. That's why the umpire, who is standing right behind the defense, has to make that call in a lot of the touchdowns that are scored in the middle of the offense.
He had to dig down in the bottom to find him.
Yeah, and you know, who knows? The guy can crawl a little bit or he can be pushed back, but there's nothing you can do. You know.
We got us a ball game, that's what I know. That was a big possession. Stanford to get it in there. Smith and Bailey deep. Smith is 15, Bailey 23. And young Aaron Mills is going to kick it off. That's high. A lot of hang time on that one. It doesn't go too deep, but sometimes you don't want it to go too deep because that keeps that guy from getting ahead of steam. You get good coverage, and they bring him down just outside the 26-yard line. Tonight, ABC takes you down under and out yonder. First, meet the real Crocodile Dundee on the World of Discovery special, The Crocodile's Revenge. I presume that means a crocodile wins. Then a Young Riders movie special, all tonight, 8, 7 Central on ABC. Think the crocodile wins, Bob?
Well, I know who won in the original Crocodile.
Billy Joe Hobart goes to the air, throws quickly at the Curtis Gaspard, a senior out of New Orleans. And at 1:53 to go in the first half, he steps quickly out of bounds to stop the clock.
I'm impressed with Billy Joe. Has not made any big mistakes. He's got his emotions under control. He came in. He's more instinctive player. Likes the big plays. Of course, Don James, more of a conservative guy. Brunell was more of a textbook. Watched a lot of film, stole the short stuff. Brunell's doing a good job.
Hobart trying to get the first down. Throws hard. to Mario Bailey, and it is incomplete. Here's Jack.
Keith, you talked at the beginning of the telecast about how the Huskies were missing Mark Brunell. Well, they thought at first he was going to be out for the season, but this is Steve Bramwell, the physician in charge, and now there seems to be hope that he might be back sooner.
Well, Mark has done remarkably well in his rehabilitation, recovered far beyond our expectations, and he's on a week-to-week basis now. We still have several things to get him through, but he's much closer than we thought.
When do you think he'll be back?
Well, we're hoping that he'll start getting some action in the next couple weeks, but it will probably be game for at least another month.
Well, Keith, most likely, though, we'll see him before the end of the season.
You know, I remember that little guy standing next to you when he was a running back with the Huskies. And it's almost startling to me now to sit up here and see him as the orthopedist. But he's become a fine doctor. Makes me right proud to know him. So he's done a good job. He was about the same size as, maybe not as big as Milton.
Yeah.
Those little scooters.
Well, he must have done a good job with Brunell, because Brunell had the full surgery, not a scope, but the anterior cruciate injury. See Willie Shaw right there, defensive coordinator for Stanford, extolling his troops to hold them, force them to punt, maybe give the ball to Milburn one more chance.
Timeouts. Huskies have 3, Stanford 2. Here's Jack again.
Well, Keith, we've had our first injury of the afternoon. Dana Hall, one of the 2 number 5s on the Washington Huskies. Seems as if he twisted the upper bone just above his ankle. In talking with the physician, Steve Bramwell, he says they will check it over during halftime. It's uncertain whether he will be back or not.
They need him. You got to play with as much as they work the big guys up front and send them.
The style of defense, they got to have corners that can cover, and Hall is that. He's a big guy, too.
It is 3rd down and 2 for Washington. And they run it with Barry. And Barry is short of the first down. If that mark holds, where I see that linesman putting his foot, he's not going to have the first down.
You know, every time Don James has to punt the ball away, you're punting it to a guy that could take it all the way at any time in Glenn Milburn.
They're going to bring the chains on. It's that close. Nope, didn't make it. I don't think you want to mess around here. You kick it.
No. James, there's no question that you don't want to lose the ball game by turning it over here. Milburn, the big threat, goes back to receive the punt, but the smart thing to do here is punt it away.
Milburn's back. Hobart. Didn't quite get it to turn over, but it takes a good bounce and kicks out of bounds. So that's a very good kick.
Smart kick there by Hobart.
Take it away from Milburn. Don't let him get his hands on it. It goes for 48 yards, and the clock shows 1:12 to play in the first half.
That was a smart kick by Hobart. I wouldn't kick it to him either. Just because he's good, you don't have to kick it to him. I mean, just because everybody in the stands want to see him run the ball back. If I got to tackle him, I'm not going to kick it to him.
37-yard kick. Check it, 47-yard kick. That'll be first and 10 for Stanford on the 18.
All right, Stanford just wants to get something going here. No mistakes.
Well, Columbus going to put it up. Intercepted. Underthrown, bad pass. Walter Bailey covering John Pinckney. And Jason Columbus didn't have a grip on it, couldn't spin the ball, threw a wounded goose up there, and Bailey came home with it.
Well, this is the first turnover today. The left side of your screen is just going to be a takeoff route. The ball hangs up in the air. It doesn't have a good spin on it. The receiver, Pinckney, was passed. Bailey, you see right there, the ball is underthrown. It's a tough catch, even if the cornerback is beaten. 5 turnovers in this game for Stanford last year. Of course, Washington led the country in takeaways.
Huskies get it back with 1:05 to play at midfield, and Hobart would like to strike here. but can't find anybody deep, so he unloads it short. Matt Jones will pick up about 8 yards on the play. And the clock is running. The Huskies have timeouts left. They have 3. But it would not appear they have interest in stopping the clock. They go quickly with no huddle. Ball is slapped down.
Changed his mind. Started to throw it, said, no, I don't want to throw it, and he couldn't hold on to it.
Well, he had a man on the sidelines. He had Orlando McKay, and they didn't see him. Take 5 seconds right here to allow our ABC stations to identify themselves. It's 3rd down and long 2 from the 42 of Stanford. They go this time to McKay, and it's over. Number 61, Tyler Batson, was busy planting Billy Joe Hobart on his numbers.
Number 61, Batson, putting pressure on Hobart. That'll bring up 4th down.
Cunningham, Randall Cunningham of the Eagles got hurt that way, but he got hit a little bit lower, just below the knee.
Why aren't they throwing that ball deep? There's your 1st down. A little quick pop to the sideline, stopping the clock again at 27 seconds. But I ask you now, why aren't they going?
Well, Stanford's laying off, forcing him to throw underneath, but I think it'd be worth a shot to send one guy down there. I mean, you always have a guy going deep on most routes. You read deep first. You read deep to short. If the deep man is covered, then you come back off and you throw your short route.
They haven't sent anybody.
Well, you're right. There's other routes that nobody goes deep. They should send somebody deep.
And now they do. Go underneath again. Caught by Matt Jones trying to get to the sidelines. Goes down. Ball's rolling around, but it went out of his hands after his hand hit the ground. He was struggling for the marker, and he may have the marker. It's 16 seconds showing on the clock. Remember, they got Travis Hansen over there on the bench, and that's one of the strongest legs in college football outside of his brother Jason, whose leg is stronger. Washington now spends a timeout.
Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys take on the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. Both the Skins and Cowboys had opening day victories. The Cowboys beat the Browns. Washington wiped out Detroit. The Cowboys, led by young quarterback Troy Aikman, are talking playoffs. Once again, the Skins talking Super Bowl. See all the action, 9 o'clock.
What is a commish? Yeah.
It's got a long neck with a nose on the front of it.
It has big old ears.
Soft and cuddly.
Small and creepy.
Fellas, you know what a commish is?
Small and slimy.
Police Commissioner Tony Scully is the commish this fall on ABC.
Well, you got time for a play. And then Travis Hansen, huh? If the play doesn't work. 16 seconds. First down, Stanford 26-yard line. Huskies lead 14-7, trying to get something else. McKay down the middle, go deep to the corner. It is touchdown, Mario Bailey. Vaughn Bryant defending, and that's 6 they shouldn't have, really, because the Stanford man should have been able to knock that ball away.
Well, what did we say at the beginning of the broadcast? Number 4, the top right of your screen, is Vaughn Bryant. This is his first year playing cornerback in college football. Last year he was a wide receiver. He just loses where the receiver is and misjudges the ball, and it's a big mistake. He was a wide receiver last year, converted to corner. One of the 3 starters in that secondary that was an offense last year for Stanford.
So the play is good for 26 yards. Hobart to Bailey, and the Huskies lead with 9 seconds to play in the first half, 21-7. I thought the ball would at least be batted down, if not intercepted.
Well, it was just a big mistake. You see the ball is fluttering. He misjudges it. The wind is coming with the ball, so I think it carries it a little bit further than Bryant thought it would. You see right there, he misjudged it, and he knew it.
Yep, Mario says thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Mario will never get an easier touchdown than this one. Bailey, number 5, had 6 touchdowns last year, caught 40 passes.
And old Mo is going to go to the clubhouse wearing white, isn't he?
Certainly is.
Hanson will kick off. Bilburn is deep. Bilburn, a junior out of Santa Monica. Let it go out of bounds. Cost him 5. They'll do it again. No time off the clock. 9 ticks remaining. Don't want Milburn handling it. Not when you've just been given one. Yeah, make it 21-7.
That's for sure. Well, that's the problem that Denny Green has. We talked about it earlier with lack of depth. Recruiting defensive players. It's hard to recruit defensive players. You can get more offensive players in defense. He takes offensive players and puts them over on defense. And, you know, this is the first game of the year, and I'm sure that that cornerback, Bryant, will improve with time, but a big mistake here in the first game of the year.
And the Stanford schedule is just brutal. After this one now, they play a second successive conference game at Arizona. Then they get a week off. And then have guests coming in the names of Colorado and Notre Dame.
They beat Notre Dame last year. Let's take a look at the teams.
That's hard.
Yeah, and where those teams went last year. 2 of them were in the Orange Bowl, 1 in the Rose, and that's this Washington team you see here.
And the Irish were rolling. They had a late start against Indiana, but from last we saw, they were rolling along. 49-27, your final. He's got it in gear. There's your squib again. It's going to go down to Milburn. He's got it anyhow from the 13-yard line. Well, they pinned him in, made him stop, took away his momentum, and you got 1 second left. So they get 1 snap. Sean Moore, who was burned by the tight end for a big play, number 7, is the backup normally for Dana Hall over at that corner. But he's not out there. William Doctor is out there instead, number 10. He is a senior from El Paso. Played a lot, if I remember, against Iowa in the Rose Bowl.
Yes, he did. He's played a lot in his career at University of Washington.
Columbus hitches up his britches and throws one to Pinckney, and Pinckney will have... No, he won't get the first down, and time is gone. So we'll be back with the halftime activities after this message and a word from our ABC station.
ABC's College Football, brought to you by Today's Chevrolet, who invites you to see why more people are winning with the heartbeat of America.
There are things in this life we can all count on. Qualities that we have come to know and trust. Pride, good friends, and simple, honest values. These are the things we know we can depend on. Chevrolet. The cars more Americans depend on.
The heartbeat of America.
If you shower with soap, this is what you're missing.
Zestfully clean. Zestfully clean.
Soap leaves a sticky film behind, but Zest rinses clean away.
You're not fully clean unless you're zestfully clean.
Wednesdays this fall. Margaret Whitney and Terry Garr are sisters. One sister is good, the other is evil. She's a giver, and she's a taker. So it's fair to say that they never wanted the same thing. Until now. From the creator of Soap and Golden Girls, it's good and evil. An outrageous new comedy. Coming Wednesdays this fall.
We're talking a $10 million account.
The numbers are soft.
Sure they
Commercial banks do million-dollar deals with huge corporations.
$500,000 in fees.
Which can make your account seem kind of small.
Hi. Can you guys help me with a certificate of deposit?
Prime plus a half.
At Washington Mutual, we don't do business with big business, just people like you.
Call me at my club after the meeting.
Washington Mutual, the friend of the family.
Can we talk about that CD now?
The offers at most places are about as exciting as yesterday's news.
But there's never a dull moment at Burger King. Because now 2 plus 2 isn't 4, it's 2.
What's that?
2 hamburgers and 2 fries equals $2 at Burger King. And that adds up to a great deal.
That's right.
2 burgers, 2 fries, $2.
See where I made my mistake.
So come try the latest edition at Burger King. It's a deal that's hard to equal.
I'm Eric Slocum. Join Kerry Brock and me at 6:30 weeknights.
The Prudential Halftime Report. Brought to you by the Prudential. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock. Now reporting from New York, Roger Twyble.
And hi, everybody, and welcome back to our ABC Sports Studios in New York and the Prudential Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on some finals, and what a final it was. Penn State beat Cincinnati 81-0. We're going to show you all the scores here. This was the first game at the newly expanded Beaver Stadium. 94,000 at the game watched the Nittany Lions devour the Bearcats. And it must be revenge for Cincinnati's win over State back in 1983, the last time Beaver Stadium was expanded. Believe it or not, the old record for most points allowed by Cincinnati was 71 by Houston and Ohio Wesleyan. So Joe Paterno did outdo John Jenkins and company and took a lot of pressure off them. 81-0 the final. The most points by Penn State since they beat Susquehanna back in 1926. 706 total yards. That's a new school record. Well, Clemson opened up their season against Division I AA Appalachian State. They held them to 2 yards rushing, 34-0, the final there. Well, Texas traveled to Starkville to take on Mississippi State. And, of course, Jackie Sherrill, the new head coach of the Bulldogs. He used to be at Texas A&M. First quarter, Texas up 3-0, but State gets on the board. A 35-yard touchdown pass from Sleepy Robinson to Treddy Anderson to cap a 73-yard drive. And 3 times Texas got inside the 20, came away with just 3 points, and what a big upset for Jackie Sherrill and company. Iowa played host to Hawaii. The Rainbows opened their season at Wyoming last week, so they spent the week in Chicago. They probably should have stayed there. First quarter, Jason Elam trying to punt. Brian Wise blocks it. Philip Bradley picks it up, goes into the end zone. Hawkeyes led 14-0, and they would go on to stroll 53-10, the final in that one. Matt Rogers with a couple of touchdown passes there. Well, Vanderbilt's Jerry DiNardo made his head coaching debut this afternoon at the Carrier Dome, and it was close for the first half. Third quarter, though, Orange up 13-10, and Anthony Carter of Vandy with the reception. But Greg Walker really hit him. He fumbled. Tony Montemora, a senior defensive back, picked it up, went 37 yards for the score, his first collegiate touchdown, as Syracuse goes on to the 37-10 win over Vanderbilt. Well, Virginia and Maryland, this is an early season ACC game. It was kind of an ugly game. A lot of turnovers in this one, and we say ugly with a capital U. First quarter, Virginia's Dave Sweeney fumbles, and Mike Jarmalowicz recovers for the Terps. Then in the third quarter, the Cavaliers quarterback Matt Blunden also coughed it up, and that man Jarmalowicz, again, he recovers. Virginia lost 4 fumbles on the day. Maryland comes up with the 17-6 victory over Virginia. Well, last Monday in Los Angeles, University of Southern Cal coach Larry Smith was doing his former assistant Chuck Stobart a favor. Now, the head coach at Memphis State, Stobart would bring his team to the Coliseum. They'd get a $250,000 payday and some national exposure. And, of course, USC would get the easy win. Well, that's what USC thought, and they thought wrong. For the Tigers, it was money, exposure, and the biggest win in their history. Third quarter of this game, Southern Cal's up 10-3. Watch this now, as Keith Benton, the quarterback, will drop back and find Russell Jones 40 yards on the touchdown pass, and that tied it at 10. Now, Benton, a little mix-up in the backfield, but he'll find Jeff Bynum, 4 yards on the touchdown pass, and the Tigers lead it 17-10 early in the fourth quarter. Now, the big play of the game on the ensuing kickoff, the Southern Cal deep man, well, he thinks the up man has it. The up man thinks the deep man has it. Who's got it? Well, it's the man from Memphis State, Rod Brown. Big play right there. And just a few moments later, Xavier Crawford will score from 2 yards out. That made it 24-10. That would be the final. Of course, some fans from Memphis State there at the Coliseum cheering wildly. And when the Tigers got home at 3 in the morning, they were greeted by about 500 fans, and they were ecstatic.
We never doubted ourselves. We figured we can go out and play hard-nosed football like Coach Stobart expected us. We would come out victorious. You know, they underestimated us. Everyone said we were 17-point underdog, so we just eliminated thinking about what the press was talking about, and we took care of business, and we're very happy.
Well, USC has this Saturday off. They've got until next week to think about that loss.
We looked at the film on Tuesday. We came out and practiced yesterday, and it was a light but long practice. Today was a shorter but more intense practice because we had pads on and we went after each other, and hopefully we started to play what I call Trojan football. Now we're going to find out a week from Saturday here when we play Penn State.
Well, what does that win mean for Memphis State to beat USC this past week? Well, they sold 2,000 season tickets and an additional 15,000 single seats for their home game tonight against arch rival Ole Miss, where a record crowd is expected at the Liberty Bowl. Big, big win. Meanwhile, Southern Cal will try to bounce back next Saturday night against Penn State, and you can see that game right here on ABC starting at 9 Eastern Time. Now, we've got some more scores for you on the ABC Sports Board.
Father Hennigan, you're drenching. What's the matter, lad?
Well, Monsignor, it looks like I couldn't raise the money to save the orphanage after all. I guess I'm a failure.
Your father is not going to Hollywood after all.
Bless you, Janice.
There's a buck, Butter. Synonymous buck.
Like Larry Milligan from Wall Street. Stocks and bonds. I've invested in their future.
All you needed was a little faith, lad.
And friends, Monsignor. It's great to have friends.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, and buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
The Pacific 10 Conference has long been known as the Conference of Champions. Pac-10's success in football and men's basketball is unparalleled nationally. Yet the Pac-10 may be best known for supporting the nation's strongest overall athletic programs, having captured the most NCAA championships in both men's and women's sports. The Pac-10 region stretches throughout the glorious West, from Arizona to California and north to Oregon and Washington. For 76 years, the Pacific 10 Conference has held to its commitment to being the Conference of Champions.
As a college sports fan, you read and hear about the NCAA every day. The NCAA is college presidents, faculty representatives, athletic directors, and coaches at hundreds of campuses across the country. They work together to protect the interests of student athletes and the integrity of competition. They set standards for academic and athletic excellence. We are the NCAA.
And hope you've been enjoying the first half of that Washington-Stanford game in Palo Alto, an early season Pac-10 matchup. Of course, Washington picked by many wire services and reports to finish possibly with the top team in the country, even though they lost their quarterback, Mark Brunell. Billy Joe Hobart, those put on a good show during the first half. It's 21-7 right now at halftime. The Huskies leading the Cardinal. In the second quarter, this is Jay Berry of the Huskies. He goes 11 yards for the touchdown, and that gave them a 7-0 lead. Hobart with a touchdown pass just before halftime, and right now Washington leading Stanford 21-7. That game, of course, in Palo Alto. Back east, Michigan and Boston College playing for the very first time.
Last time Michigan was even in the Boston area was in 1940 when they played Harvard. They've got their hands full because BC came up early. Glenn Foley, 24 yards in the touchdown pass to Keith Miller. That made it 7-0. Sean Wright has added a field goal, and Boston College trying to pull the upset. They lost last week to Rutgers. They lead it right now 10-7 over Michigan. Well, San Jose State has a tough schedule, and their first 5 games are on the road. They open up down at Gainesville against Florida. They trail it by 10. Shane Matthews has thrown a couple of touchdown passes for the Gators. Matthews was ranked 7th in the nation last year in passing efficiency. Meanwhile, Indiana and Notre Dame, first time these two teams have met in 33 years, and make it now the Irish with 14 consecutive wins over Big Ten opponents. Rick Meyer rushed for 3 touchdowns. 49-27, the Irish beat Indiana. Utah State and Nebraska, this game was delayed for some 19 minutes in the third quarter because of lightning. Nebraska having no problem out in Lincoln. They're rolling right now. 46-20, the score in that one. Southern Mississippi and Pitt, this is the first time Pittsburgh has ever played a team from the state of Mississippi, and Steve Israel returned an interception, 81 yards for a touchdown. He also returned a fumble, 35 yards for his touchdown. Pitt over Southern Mississippi University, 35-14, the score in that one as Pitt gets their second win of the season. 85,434, the largest crowd in the history of the state of Georgia watching Georgia and LSU, and this is true freshman Eric Zier, a 47-yard pass to Andre Hastings. That set up a 22-yard field goal by Todd Peterson. That made it 10-0 Dogs. They now at halftime lead LSU 17-3. Curly Hallman, of course, making his coaching debut for LSU in that game. Arizona and Ohio State, the two head coaches at these schools, Dick Tomey and John Cooper, were assistants under Pepper Rogers for 4 years back in the late 60s at the University of Kansas. A record crowd in Columbus today. Butler Benete of St. Louis scores on an 18-yard run that capped a 59-yard drive. The Buckeyes lead it at halftime 17-7, and Benete with over 100 yards rushing in the first half, and they'll forget about Robert Smith in a hurry out there. Big day in New York because at the United States Open Tennis Championships, Monica Seles has defeated Martina Navratilova. She has won the women's championship in straight sets. And we'll have more on the Prudential halftime report, but first, more scores from the ABC Sports Board.
Finally here. Home sweet.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, come on. We can fix this place up. After all, we're Winchesters. All I wanted was a simple life. Some investments and a home of our own. Now I wish I never heard of 1636 Cherry Lane.
Did you say 1636 Cherry Lane? This is 1639. That's 1636.
Honey, let's go home.
In the movies, happy endings are easy, but in the real world, they take solid planning. So for peace of mind, investment advice, and buying or selling your home, come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
In the 100 years since Stanford opened, the people who've come here have realized one dream after another. In life-saving and life-enhancing technology, in scientific breakthroughs, big and small, in teaching humanities and humanitarianism, in helping to better our evolving world and expanding our definition of it. As Stanford celebrates its centennial, it salutes the people who've made it and the world both better by their being here.
Welcome back to our ABC Sports Studios in New York and the Prudential Halftime Report. A program note. Join us Monday night as the Washington Redskins battle the Dallas Cowboys on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Both teams are coming off season-opening wins. Last year, they split their 2 games, each winning at home. Our coverage begins at 9 Eastern. As we move inside the 20 this week, we have to recognize an achievement from last week by Houston quarterback David Klingler. Against Louisiana Tech, he threw an NCAA record 6 touchdown passes in the second quarter and 9 for the game. If he can catch that many fish today, he should be happy. The Cougars have the day off, and Klingler went fishing. Houston meets Miami in a key game on Thursday night in the Orange Bowl. Speaking of the Canes, they behaved like perfect gentlemen in their win last Saturday against Arkansas. But the new no taunting or Miami rule was very evident later that day in the East Carolina-Illinois game. With 1:46 left in the game at Champaign, Illinois, the Pirates pulled within 7 of the Illini, and they covered the ensuing onside kickoff, and the celebration was on. The two officials considered the ECU players' actions to be unsportsmanlike under the new rule. Yet the Big Ten and Southern independent officials could not identify the guilty parties. Immediately following the game, in an evaluation session that's part of the Big Ten's officiating program, the crew told Supervisor of Football Officials Dave Perry that a player had gestured in a demeaning manner toward the Illinois bench. East Carolina provided ABC with an end zone view that shows this was not the case. Watch the left side. We'll zero in, and it shows the players are just celebrating and not taunting the Illinois bench. Dave Perry spoke with us and admits the call was incorrect.
Well, I've concluded this, that on the basis of physical evidence only, the foul for taunting was probably too technical, should not have been called. I sympathize with the officials because in addition to that, they are telling me there were some words exchanged which were not complimentary. And perhaps that's what tipped the scale to make the officials make the foul call.
According to Perry, the way the rule is written, profanity alone should not have warranted a flag. Let's give the nod to Perry and the Big Ten for admitting the mistake, but let's hope officials can distinguish between celebrating and taunting in the close and emotional games to come this year. That's it for the Prudential Halftime Report. I'm Roger Twibell. Enjoy the second half, everybody.
The Prudential Halftime Report has been brought to you by the Prudential. Come to the companies of the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
Here at Stanford, the visiting Washington Huskies, trying to repeat as Pac-10 champions, lead the Stanford Cardinal by a score of 21-7 at halftime.
This is a tow truck. It makes your troubles go away. And this is a Civic 4-door from Honda. It also makes your troubles go away. But it won't cost you $10 a mile to do so.
You could call one company to take your package to an address across town. And you could find somebody to take your package to any address cross-country. Then you could call a third outfit that could take your package overseas. And yet another that could take your package overnight. But there's only one company you could call if you only wanted to make one call.
Finally, a golf video that meets the real challenges faced by the average golfer. Chi-Chi's Bag of Tricks in and out of trouble with Chi-Chi Rodriguez. One of the most popular figures in the world of golf offers simple solutions to the unavoidable hazards of the game.
Now, if you can learn to hit those shots, you can save a lot of strokes.
To order your video cassette, call 1-800-4ABC-VCR and let Chi-Chi Rodriguez help your game.
Ole! I'd like to make a simple point about a gasoline additive called ProGuard. You see, without proper care, even new car engines accumulate deposits that can lead to a rough-running engine. Fortunately, there's a ProGuard. Added to a single tank full of gasoline, ProGuard's patented Tech-On chemistry begins cleaning deposits not only from fuel injectors, but throughout your engine's intake system for a noticeably smoother performance. ProGuard, for a smoother running engine.
College football. Brought to you by Honda, maker of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealer today. And by the 25th Anniversary Diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
There's your halftime score, that 21st point, the third touchdown by the Huskies, the product of a Stanford mistake. But here are your numbers at halftime.
Halftime stats, the plays are about even. First downs, Washington is leading. Total yardage, 227. Interesting thing here, yards passing, Washington 172, outpassing Stanford, who is usually the passing team. Time of possession about the same. Here's a look at Washington, what they've done when they've had the ball. The 2 times on the left in white, they've gotten the ball on the good field position. They scored. In the bottom one, midfield, they scored also. So good field position means good results. Here's a look at what Stanford did. One time that they got good field position, Washington 41-yard line, they also took it in for a touchdown.
Glenn Milburn is the deep man, waiting Travis Hansen's kickoff as we start the second half of play. There's what he has done today, and by comparison, not a whole lot. Here he comes out of the end zone. Exciting. And he's still going. What a run by Glenn Milburn. Remarkable athlete.
Would you call him earlier like a hummingbird?
Quick as a hummingbird.
Can't catch him.
Yep.
This is fun right here. He's only 5'9", 175. Led the nation last year, all-purpose yardage. That's rushing, receiving, punt returns, kickoff returns. Look at him. Look at the missed tackles. He's got the moves and he's got the speed. Outstanding.
42-yard line. That actually was about a 45-yard run, but it was exciting. Here's Columbus going to the air. Ball is batted down, intercepted by Steve Empman. Washington's ball at the Stanford 39-yard line. We didn't call his name a whole lot in the first half, but all of a sudden to start the second half, he steps center stage.
I think Empman does it both, Keith. I think he knocks it down. Look to the right of your screen. He's being blocked right there. He knocks it down and he catches it. Empman, outstanding. A 280-pound tackle. Number 90 in the white jersey, blocked by Dahlman. Gets his hands up. Outstanding.
And so the Huskies talk about field position, go to work at the Stanford 39-yard line. Billy Joe Hobart at quarterback. Going to put it up. Throws. Mario Bailey has it. Nobody out there to help him, and he'll go down in a hurry.
Took it away.
Fumble, and they took it away from him. Took it right out of his hands. Albert Richardson. So in the scuffle, as he was going down, Richardson just literally took the ball away from him.
Well, 2 plays. Watch Richardson, number 8 in the red jersey, right here. He's going to grab at it. Now watch him. He goes back at it and grabs it right there, takes it out. Good clean shot and a good call by the official. 2 plays, 2 turnovers.
So basically, Stanford didn't lose a whole lot, did they? They go from the 42 back to the 33. -9 on that exchange of turnovers. And Steve Empman got a big play for himself. They give the ball to Milburn. Milburn just over the 35 to the 36, carrying the ball.
Well, you talk about turnovers, 2 plays, 2 turnovers. Here's what they were last year. In the Pac-10, Washington led it with +23. They got it 23 more times than they gave it up. Stanford was 7th in the league out of 10. Washington led the country, not only the Pac-10, in turnovers, and that is one reason why they were so good. They took the ball away, and they didn't give it up very often.
2nd down and 7 for the Cardinal. Here's Milburn trying to get started, but can't do it. Penetration by Jaime Fields, and down he goes for a loss back inside the 35. Here's Jack.
Keith, you know, most times if you're in a conference, so you try to play your conference games later in the year, but in the case of Washington and Stanford especially, they're playing conference games right out of the box. I thought I'd ask Tom Hansen, the Pac-10 commissioner, why specifically with Stanford, 2 conference games right out of the box?
Jack, beginning this year, we've gone from a minimum requirement of 7 games to 8. In order to add more conference games, we had to work around commitments to non-conference games. Thus, in some cases, we've had to move conference games at the start of the season.
Well, that makes it awfully tough, especially for the Cardinal.
That's got to be a flag. You got to call that. That's holding.
No flag.
It's got to be holding.
No flag.
Mr. Jones, come on.
Pinckney going down under the pass. Hall defending. Hall playing on a sore ankle. No flag.
Grabbed him.
not catchable, maybe. Huh? What do you think?
Let's go ahead and run this play. Go ahead and run the play. Run the play. All right, we'll get it after the play.
So now it's the kicker.
What are you guys doing? Fourth down. Stanford has to punt it away. Stonehouse kicking and Bryant back to catch it. Ball is caught up in the wind and drops down well short, and Bryant with a sore leg doesn't risk it.
Watch this. Watch the defensive back right here as he's going to go downfield. He's beaten. There's nobody in the middle of the field. He knows he's beaten right there. Watch him grab on. Yeah, you see Pinckney right away looking. If he'd not grabbed on, it was a touchdown for sure for Stanford.
Everything that flies needs fuel. Jetliners get theirs from BP, one of the nation's largest suppliers of aviation fuel. At 300 airports around the country, we supply the fuel and help keep the airlines humming. BP.
You want to spend as little as possible, yet still get the most for your money. So where do you go for tires? Your Goodyear retailer. He has a wide selection of tires at prices that are lower than you'd expect for such quality. Computer balanced, installed by experts. Where else could you pay so little for so much peace of mind? Good tires, good service, good people. Goodyear.
Instead of trying to give your car a personality, maybe you should try a car that already comes with one. The Civic Si from Honda.
The Penn State Nittany Lions head west to tackle the Trojans of Southern Cal. It's a primetime special next Saturday on ABC Sports.
As we come back, Matt Jones on a carry for the Washington Huskies. This possession starting from their own 39-yard line. A gain of a couple of yards on the play. And a penalty flag. Offside, Stanford. Starting the second half for Washington, Bino Bryant in the ball game right now. He was used sparingly in the first half. Billy Joe Hobart's first start at quarterback. Matt Jones has been in most of the day. The wideouts, Orlando McKay and Mario Bailey, have had big days for the Huskies offensively. Stanford's defense has been stretched and a couple of times pranged pretty soundly. The corners have been victimized on occasion by Billy Joe Hobart, Gordon, and Bryant. First and 5 as the Huskies accept the offside penalty. Hobart hands the ball inside. The play is good with Bryant carrying for about 4 yards.
Take a look at the leaders for Washington first half. Hobart was 16 of 22 and 172 yards. Barry gained 51 yards rushing, and McKay caught 6 passes. Bailey had 4 for 49 and a touchdown.
Second down and 1. Upman Jones gets the first down. He's turned upside down by Albert Richardson, the senior out of Hanford, California. But he's got sufficient yardage to put the ball on the Stanford side of the field at the Cardinal 48-yard line. Here's Jack.
Keith, we talked to Denny Green as he came out to start this second half, and he said the only thing he was upset about was that one touchdown that was scored with less than a minute to go. He said, we've got to get our secondary playing one level higher than they are. He said that could very well break our back today, but we're going to come back in the second half.
Hobart checks off on the first down play, goes to the sideline. He just lost control of the ball, dumped it off. Albert Richardson standing there. Look what I found, interception. My goodness, that was a dreadful effort at a pass.
Right. He wanted to throw it on timing, and then he turned back and looked, and he saw a man out there, tried to take it back, and couldn't do it. You look at it from the side, Richardson, he wanted to hold up on it. Richardson was between him and the receiver, Bailey. And another big turnover, 2 quick turnovers here for Washington.
They will do you in on opening day, won't they?
Top of the screen, you saw Richardson right in there, a short, quick out into the short sides. Tough to fit that ball in there.
Tommy Vardell gets a carry down to the Husky 35. That's a yard and a half on the play. Just trying to pinch him in a little bit and remind them that they can run up the middle.
Here are your first half leaders offensively for Stanford. Columbus was 11 of 23 for 100 yards. Vardell was the leading rusher at 24 yards with 10 carries. Milburn with only 4 for 18. Pinckney had 4 for 39 to lead the receivers. Turnovers, 3 of those in the second half, or even at 2 apiece.
Second down, call it 8. Milburn's back there with Vardell. Columbus going to throw, gets it up down the middle, and that isn't very pretty either.
Well, he had a man in his face. Again, the
Core, number 21, came flying in.
Washington's defense blitzing. Take a look at the linebacker right here. Look at the line. All these men are up here. This one's going to come right through and get through clearly and be free. And this is what Columbus had to throw the ball up very quickly. Middle of the field is open. He just doesn't have time to wait for his receivers.
That's batted down, and Yepman knocked it down. Remember, he batted one and intercepted it himself a few minutes ago. That was batted down and into the hands of one of the offensive linemen.
Number 90, Steve Hetman. Preseason All-American, All-Pac-10, Player of the Year we've mentioned. He almost catches that one. They've got a category for the defensive backs. Passes defended. They're going to have to put Hetman in that category also.
So they go to the punt on 4th down as the Washington defense stifles Stanford. Cardinal had very good field position and couldn't capitalize on it. Stonehouse fields a bouncing ball coming back to him on a low snap and then shakes it out of bounds. Looked like my 6 sign. 21-7 Husky.
What makes the Honda Accord so different? Honda's advanced technology. In fact, one of the most amazing attributes of the Accord is its ability to transport you into the future. Really, just get in and bingo, the future. Now, can your car do that?
It's Monday Night Madness from the unforgettable. Touchdown! William Perry. To the most regrettable. To the fun in the booth.
Didn't know you cared.
The very best of ABC's Monday Night Football is now available on home video. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR for Monday Night Madness any night of the week. Only $19.98 plus $3 for shipping. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
Richard Crenna and James Earl Jones.
When you work undercover, you don't need no stinking badges.
There's a new team in town.
I'm not going to hit him. I'm too much of a gentleman. Like hell I am.
Richard Crenna and Emmy winner James Earl Jones.
Hi, boys. I can't remember when I've had as much fun as we've had the past couple of days.
Fun? How about to see what you call trouble?
Together in Pros and Cons, coming this fall.
Stick around. Cover the scores of the top 10. Michigan struggling at Boston College. Finally has moved to the lead in the 3rd quarter. Penn State played everybody. Florida moving out now over San Jose. Notre Dame rolled in the 2nd half against Indiana. Clemson beating Appalachian State.
Indiana scored 27 points on Notre Dame defense, so that's a lot. And they raised some eyebrows around the country.
This is Bino Bryant. And he is brought down by Jason Fisk, the nose guard for Stanford. Gain on the play of a couple of yards.
Bino Bryant was an All-Pac-10 player last year as a kick specialist. He was number 2 in the nation in punt returns. I mentioned 3 touchdowns by punt returns.
Kind of wonder if we're going to see young Napoleon Kaufman today, the touted freshman from California, Lompoc. Boy, there's a pretty good lick put on Rabino Bryant. A couple of 29s got together there.
Ron George right there, the transfer from the Air Force Academy. Came over, did an outstanding job. 10 sacks. In fact, 28 tackles for losses last year was the best in the Pac-10. So a very aggressive outside linebacker in Ron George.
Third down and about 12. Bryant with a little juke. And no place to go. George again. So Ron George, who hadn't gotten a call all day. Suddenly the junior, who was born in Heidelberg, West Germany, bears up.
Military family. Sent him to the Air Force. Is really the strength of this defense. Interesting call, Keith, by the Huskies, and Don James a little bit conservative after Hobart threw that interception on the previous series.
Hobart punting. A little better kick this time. Gets it way up. Runs Milburn back inside the 30 to the 29. Look out. They finally tackle him, and they're about 10 yards beyond the playing field when they take him down. Jamal Fontaine, but in the case of Milburn, I think the guys are used to pursuing him, because if you don't pursue him, he'll eat you up.
Really?
They pursued him too far. 50-yard punt, 13-yard return, and you're going to get the personal foul tacked on top of that.
Fontaine, number 47, hit him as he was out of bounds.
47-yard kick and a 10-yard return.
Dead ball. Personal foul against the defense. 15 yards. First down.
Let's take a look at this again. Milburn coming up the sideline. Goes out of bounds right there. Now Fontaine right there comes, you know, to his credit though, he may not have been able to see him coming along, and he may have thought that he was going to continue up the sideline, but it was clearly a foul and a good call.
And it puts the football at the Washington 43-yard line. First down for Stanford. Same alignment now with Bardell and Milburn going in motion, which makes him eligible as a receiver. Outside, they go the other way with it, quickly to Chris Walsh. And Walsh fumbles the ball, and the Washington Huskies recover it. So this third quarter has been burdened with mistakes on both sides.
Well, this is the 4th turnover of the second half. Hoffman gets the fumble. Dana Hall caused it. Hall initially was beaten on the route, but recovered to knock the ball out right there. And what's going on here? We had a pretty good ball game played in the first half.
Yeah, they're playing like the first day of turnout.
There you go, right there. A nice shot of Hall knocking the ball loose.
Hand it to Bryant. And Vino runs into Ron George again. So George, who was quiet in the first half, has now made 3 successive big hits on the Huskies. Eight and a half minutes to go in the third quarter in a very big Pac-10 ball game. Stanford playing 2 conference games to open the season, and that's a double burden. But the winner of this game gets a pretty good leg up in the Pac-10. That pass is incomplete, intended for Aaron Pierce, the tight end. First time they've thrown to their tight end today. The Huskies will have a week off next week and then go on to Nebraska to play the Huskers at Lincoln, and it's one of the games we'll have for you in prime time. Third down and 9 now for Washington. Stanford drops the center fielder back. Hobart goes, and the pass is incomplete. That's a good play by Vaughn Bryant, the man who was burned in the corner of the end zone. For Washington's 3rd touchdown, this time he makes the play and takes the ball away from Mario Bailey.
Top of your screen, number 4 is Bryant.
Makes a nice play, comes over, doesn't drag his backhand. There's a look from behind Hobart. He thinks he's got a completion. Ball is not there on time.
About the last 10 feet, though, Billy Joe's hoping
get there quicker.
Closing his eyes. Pressure's on him. The ball spun off the side of his foot, takes a Stanford bounce, and the Cardinal gets it after pressure on Hobart at midfield.
Oh, he looked scarier 25 years ago.
Did I?
You looked scared.
I don't know. I thought I hit it well for an innocent girl.
You were innocent for the 60s.
Any regrets?
None. You?
Just one. What? That I waited 25 years to give you this.
The 25th anniversary diamond, a brilliant celebration of the loving marriage.
I've got goosebumps.
Well, you've given me goosebumps for 25 years.
At Thrifty Car Rental, we understand how therapeutic vacations can be. Getting away from the little power plays, reassessing your personal goals. So to help make your vacation a relaxing one, Thrifty offers an extensive choice of vehicles at some remarkably reasonable rates. For the last thing you need to be doing on vacation.
More ice, Mr. Gretzky?
Maybe later. Is worrying about money.
Is that Michael? Yeah. Starts college next year. How's mine?
When Mike told me the price of his first choice.
I know what you mean. I got this broker at Kane Weber. She put me in a zero coupon to cover college. Huh. Well, when did she do that? It's got to be 10, 11 years. 10 years ago? How did she know that's what you needed? She asked.
All right, field position has been a very important factor so far in this game, and the Stanford Cardinal now, after putting some hurry, Toby Norwood got after Billy Joe Hobart, and he comes up with a 22-yard punt. Toby Norwood, incidentally, his daddy Lyle Norwood played at Washington, and both his parents, mom and dad, are graduates of the University of Washington. Back goes Jason Columbus to throw it. Gets it away to the sidelines for Chris Walsh, and it is incomplete. In this half, we've used just over 7 minutes now. We've had 9 different possessions involving the two teams. We've had 4 turnovers, and we've only run 19 total plays.
It's gotten a little sloppy here in the second half. You know, if you're a defensive coach, you love it. If you're an offensive guy, let's get this straightened out.
The only thing wrong with it, though, is you get to wobbling around like this, and all of a sudden, if the offense straightens up and does something just right one time, they burn you. 50-yard line was the starting point, and now Bardell moves it for just about a yard before Chico Fraley takes him down. Here's Jack.
Keith, when you're 6'6" and about 300 pounds, I guess you can do and say anything you want, but I'm sure that Denny Green wished Bob Whitfield, his offensive tackle, hadn't done one thing. In this newspaper on Wednesday, he was quoted as saying, we're going to go in and we're going to actually beat the Washington Huskies by 60 points. What Don James did is made a Xerox of this paper and tacked it on every player's locker before they came down here.
3rd down, 9. Columbus rolls it out, gets it away, sideline, good. Pinckney reeled it in just beyond the marker, and it's a first down.
It's a big play, a big first down for Columbus. And Stanford get big first down, gets a drive going.
Pinckney's having a pretty good day. He's caught 5 balls for 50 yards.
There's the big guy. Started every game as a true freshman 2 years ago. Played every down. 17 years old as a freshman. Denny Green's first call after he got the job a couple of years ago was to Whitfield, who was a high school senior, wanted him to visit. Came up here, decided he liked the program, and decided to stay.
Glenn Milburn carries the ball over the right side and picks up about 3 yards on the carry. I will say this, that I have not seen Mr. Whitfield pancake anybody today.
Not yet. He's a good-natured guy, though. He laughs and smiles very easily. His teammates say he's playful. He says he's 6'7" and 300, and he's a prankster. And they say he's a great breakdancer. Now, that's something I'd like to see, a 300 guy pound guy breakdancing.
Might set off another earthquake through Portola Valley. Quick one by Columbus, caught by Walsh. That's pretty close to another first down. It looks to me like Stanford has gone through their playbook now, that the quick stuff is a little better against the Huskies than
well, they've tried throwing the ball downfield, and for one reason or another, the timing has not been right. They have missed a couple of long passes. They've tried some big plays. They have just missed on them, and they're not going to give up on those, because those are going to get some touchdowns for you. But the bread and butter for Green has got to be the short, quick passing.
Ball is on the 27-yard line on a first down. Columbus gives it back to Vardell. He runs for the sideline and gets a couple of yards before Walter Bailey takes him out. The Cowboys and the Redskins on ABC's Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern Time. Both teams won their openers. Troy Aikman getting off to a pretty good start. Cowboys getting a little rougher and tougher. Redskins look pretty good to me.
How about Joe Gibbs? He's getting into some other business, isn't he?
NASCAR racing.
Huh?
Yeah, he's going stock car racing.
Yes, sir. And what did the owner say? He says, I think it's good that you got a distraction.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can't devote your entire life.
For sure. That's for sure.
Wound up.
That'll be a great game. That rivalry, that series is coming back.
Great series.
Yeah.
J.J. Lashley is in the ball game at the running back position. Promptly drops the football. Walter Bailey covers it for the Washington Huskies. So Lashley, a 210-pound senior out of Van Nuys, and now another official trotting across the field sees something and throws a flag on it. Might have a little unsportsmanlike call here, but the ball does belong to the Washington Huskies. That's 5 turnovers in this half.
Well, Fraley is going to cause this. From the left side of your screen, number 39 will be coming through a gap. Right there he is. Knocks the ball loose, and Bailey, 23, will be on it. Does this ball come loose from him? Yeah, it does. That's what they're fighting about. That ball was fought for at the bottom of that pile. But it's going to stay in the possession of the Huskies. Fraley, 39, causing that fumble.
And fumbled, and then Bailey recovered for the Huskies.
Turnovers, 5 in this half.
They're still talking about the penalty here. Now here's your call from Jim Fogeltax. Going against Washington.
Dead ball foul against the recovering team. Penalty marked off half the distance to the goal. Be first down.
It'll be 1st and 22.
Don James, the winningest active, actually all-time, winningest all-time coach in the Pac-10 history. He has 83 wins. Ex-quarterback. Played at the University of Miami.
On 1st and 22, they'll run it with Bino Bryant. You know, Bryant is deceptive. I mean, he's moving along at a faster pace than you think he is, but every time that I think that he has carried the ball today, it looks as if the leg buckles on him. He's got a different look of a gait to him, I guess, when he's carrying the ball.
Well, he's had a problem with that knee. He's been banged up the last few weeks. He had a broken shoulder at the end of spring practice he recovered from. He's not that big. He cannot take the pounding, play in and play out.
It's 2nd down and 13 after he gained 9. Bryant again carries, and Ron George makes another tackle.
Bryant is 178 pounds. As you take a look at some scores, he had 8 touchdowns last year for an average of 40 yards apiece.
Look at that. Jimmy Coletto getting off to a
Purdue, all right.
start.
Jimmy Coletto came over from Ohio State. He'll do a good job.
3rd down, 11. This is Bryant again. And hit by Albert Richardson, and Richardson pins him down. So Richardson, who didn't get a call in the first half, has suddenly emerged here in the second half as a principal in the Stanford defense, and Billy Joe Horbert's got a punt again. Last time they got some pressure on Hobart, Billy Joe flinched and shanked one 22 yards. Gilbert sitting back there just inside his 40. The wind's at Hobart's back. He gets some spin on it and gets it up. He'll get a good kick, and he does. That's a beautiful kick. Holy smokes, look at that thing. Goes right down the chalk, all the way down to the 18-yard line. It was kicked away from Milburn, and it went down that sideline like it had eyes and 2 feet. 59-yard punt. There's your scoring summary in the ball game. You can read it as we go through it. Dino Bryant with a 7-yard run. That first run by Barry, they had to call him back and say, hey, this is your play, and he took it in the end zone. Vardell scored for Stanford. It was 14-7, and then Bailey got behind Bryant, made a catch in the corner of the end zone as Bryant misjudged. Having moved from the offense over to the defense, a wideout turned into a cornerback and did not make a good play, and the Huskies led 21-7 at halftime, and that's where we still are as Jason Columbus throws, Walsh catches, and the ball is knocked out, and then call it no catch. That was pretty close to being a loose ball.
It's a good hit by Talele. Just as the ball was getting there, knocked the ball loose. Hello there. Don't ever turn your back.
Hoffman at 225 pounds, a linebacker, really unloaded for old John Pinckney. Whew. The numbers for Jason Columbus today.
It's unusual. He led the nation in percentage passing last year.
This is Milburn, and he's caught. Never had a chance as Andy Mason and Dave Hoffman make the play. Andy Mason is a sophomore from Longview, and he's the fellow who blocked the Iowa punt in the early going in the Rose Bowl last year and produced a touchdown.
He's also a pretty good baseball player coming out of school. In fact, was drafted by the Blue Jays. And you know, when they wear those numbers, Keith, and they're in the defensive line, like number 13 or whatever, you know they were a defensive back or an offensive player at some time.
Yep.
Just grew up, and they moved him over there. He's not very heavy, but he's quick.
Well, now 3rd down and 12. Columbus sets up, going to get a wrap, and does. Back at the 11, and he really took a lick from Jaime Fields, an outside linebacker. So at 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, the Washington defense asserts itself, and we'll pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can tell you who they are.
This is KOMO TV4 Seattle.
Goes to the end zone now to punt into the wind. Bino Bryant drops back, standing at the Stanford 45. Last punt by Stonehouse. Scores 13 yards. No pressure. Kick is away. Wind grabs it. Knocks it down. Takes a Stanford bounce, however, and will roll dead up around the 48-yard line. 38-yard punt, and once again, here's Washington camped on the Stanford side of the field.
Best field position they've had the second half. First half, every time they got inside the 50-yard line, they scored touchdowns.
The crowd today, a disappointing 45,273. In a house that seats 90.
Well, this program was on a high at the end of last year, winning their last 3 ball games.
Hobart quickly. McKay pursued by Richardson. Taken out of bounds. Tom Williams got there a little late, but I guess there's no flag. Had a thunderstorm rattle through this part of the country yesterday and caused all kinds of trouble. Those blacked out the San Jose airport, caused grief all the way south to San Luis Obispo.
Better a thunderstorm than an earthquake, huh?
Oh, man. This is Jay Barrett, junior out of Colorado. playing at tailback much of the day.
We mentioned earlier at the top of the broadcast that Jay Berry is playing because of Bino Bryant's injury. He is replacing Greg Lewis, the player of the year, the offensive player of the year last year that went on to play with the Denver Broncos. They have to replace him. Mark Brunell, the quarterback, the MVP of the Rose Bowl last year, is not playing in this game, has had knee surgery. And Darius Turner, the starting fullback, is out with a back problem. He'll be back in a couple of weeks.
On third down and short, Matt Jones, the up-back, fullback, carries and picks up a first down for Washington at the Stanford 36-yard line. And we are at 1:03 to go as Alabama is leading at halftime. Ohio State by 10 over Arizona. Dick Tomey trying to get his offense moving in Arizona. Oregon State. Beavers could sorely use a win up there as Jerry Pettibone comes in with his motion offense. Form of the wishbone. This is Hobart setting up a screenplay. It's for Matt Jones. Stanford penetrates it and stops it pretty well after a gain of about 8 yards. I'm not so sure that Oregon State wouldn't be just as well off to go ahead and run some wishbone. Now, one of the reasons you saw Army, Jimmy Young took the wishbone to Army and succeeded. Fisher DeMary does very well with it at the Air Force Academy, because if you don't have big people, great athletes, you can get away with a lot using that scramble offense.
Not real exciting, but I think there's only 3 teams in the country, Division I now, still using it.
Yep. Good play by Albert Richardson.
Richardson's had a big half, the second half, and we're not even into the fourth quarter, just coming up on it.
Beaves gets a hold of Bryant, decks him back behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 35, and we've gone through 3. So we'll be back with the final period between the Huskies and Cardinal after this message and a word from our ABC station.
I hope you're enjoying your evening.
If you suffer from chronic halitosis, try Halo. Formulated...
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going and...
Tonight on the Adventure Channel, join explorer Marceau Soulaner as he unlocks the mystery of the Great Barrier Reef.
Still going. Nothing outlasts the Energizer. They keep going and going.
The Accord 4-door sedan. We took a good idea and built on it. Introducing the Accord wagon from Honda.
Tonight, meet the real Crocodile Dundee.
The crocodile that gets you, you never see.
The Crocodile's Revenge on ABC's World of Discovery tonight.
Imagine this is a customer's finger. Imagine it moving down the yellow pages until it finds your business. Now, imagine it calling your business, but you're on the line, or not there. What's a finger to do? Imagine it moving down the yellow pages again until it finds the competition. Now, what's the point of this story?
U.S. West, making the most of your time.
Pretend your TV is a beer mug.
We're gonna pour you a Miller Lite. Oops,
Sorry, foamed on your carpet.
Now, tilt the TV towards you and taste why light is what beer is today.
The great Pilsner taste keeps you ahead of it all.
Everybody likes that.
Can we pour you another?
Hey, I know. Why not buy 6 more TVs and invite some friends over?
Miller Lite.
It's it.
And that's that.
I'm Kathy Gerson. Join Dan Lewis and me at 5 o'clock weeknight.
(21-7) as we go to the fourth quarter. The third quarter pretty sloppy. 2 first downs by Washington, 3 by Stanford, 45 yards by the Huskies, 43 yards by Stanford. Huskies had 2 turnovers and Stanford had 3.
5 turnovers in the third quarter alone.
Husky ball, third down and close to 9 as Billy Joe Hobart sets up and throws a homer. Pass is caught at the 20 by Curtis Gaspard. When that big Hobart, who actually weighed 31 pounds, when he unloads on it and gets that thing spinning, he can really put the X on you.
Strong arm kid. Throws the ball. That time a blitz on the part of Stanford. Easy coverage, an easy recognition for Hobart. One-on-one coverage in the secondary, and he drilled it.
And it's first down at the Cardinals 20. Bino Bryant runs into the stack. Tommy Connect, number 14, the converted quarterback, is there to help on the defensive play. Call it second down and 10. Why don't we, maybe you could play Whitfield both ways. Some do. Hobart, bad pass. Got back on his back foot, threw off his heels, and it didn't work.
Here's a look at the third quarter stats. The plays are about even. First downs, Washington dropped down the passing. Washington still out passing Stanford. Time of possession is about the same, and the turnovers are really the key. As we mentioned, 6 in the ball game now, 5 of those happening in the third quarter.
Billy Joe Hobart just turned around and called a timeout. And he's going to go to the sidelines and have a visit with 14:07 to play in the ball game. The Huskies get one here. You could hear the door creaking, if not slamming. What with that defense? If they're sitting on a 21-point lead in the fourth quarter, they'd be pretty hard to dislodge them.
Just how realistic is the audio system in the Lexus LS 400?
You know that sinking feeling? You turn the key and nothing.
When it gets this hot, you'd better get to Sears.
I hear my battery gets baked.
Only Sears has the Die Hard. In demanding tests for starting power, Die Hard performed 3 times better than industry standard.
This time, I'm getting a Die Hard.
Sears Die Hard battery, more power when you need it most.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
Ben and Connie Studebaker look at things differently since they became parents. I'm Roger Cruel. I'm their State Farm agent. Having a family brought a lot of changes in their lives, so we thought it was a good idea to sit down and have a family insurance checkup. We started by adding to their life insurance protection. Then we went over all their family insurance to help make sure their coverage was up to date. After all, you never know what could happen.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
NFC East rivals collide. The Washington Redskins rumble into Dallas for a showdown with the Cowboys. This week on ABC's Monday Night Football.
On third down and 10, Hobart drops back, throws down the middle. Kralik, who had just come into the ball game, number 9, catches for a touchdown. So the 2 guys from Puyallup, a pair of sophomores, produce a Husky touchdown.
Here's Kralik here. He's just going to go straight down the middle in between the 2 deep zone. Watch as Billy Joe reads it. Gets right down the middle of the 2 deep. Fires the ball in there. And that's a big touchdown for the Huskies.
Travis Hampson makes it 28. Washington to 7, Stanford.
Take a look from behind the defense. Little twist on the defensive line. Picked up very nicely by the offensive line. Kralik, who only caught 2 passes last year, takes a good hit by Gordon and gets into the end zone. And does Billy Joe like it?
Kralik is one of the 4 scholarship players out of Puyallup on the Washington roster. Tom Gallagher and Damon Heward, an incoming freshman, who the coach over there is his daddy, and he's sending a lot of good folks over to Seattle to play for the Huskies. I'll tell you. I think I called him Kralik. There's only half a dozen people names spelled the same way, pronounced it Kralik, but he calls it Kralik. I'm sorry for that. 14:02 to play in the 4th quarter. Oh, that's not very good. That's a pop-up. Caught at the 29-yard line by John Lynch, the strong safety. So Stanford, with no run back, gets the ball at the 29-yard line. Oh, my goodness, look at this. The Boston College Eagles are giving the Michigan Wolverines all they want at Chestnut Hill. They're in the 4th quarter. 13 minutes to go. Wonder what in the world's going on.
First game of the year. You don't know how your team is going to play. You don't know whether you've got them ready to play, over-prepared, under-prepared. Tough to go on the road the first game. The Huskies are not having any problem here.
First down for Stanford. Columbus back, pumps, throws, and it is incomplete. And he was under considerable duress from Paxton Kalele, the roverback. And he's down. That's Columbus, the quarterback.
Again, Kalele, number 8. Columbus can't see all the blitzes. Washington uses a high-powered, very aggressive type of defense. A lot of pressure on the quarterback.
It looks like it's the left knee. Bad news for Stanford.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. Introducing the new Fram Extra Guard. New glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. The new Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Just how realistic is the audio system in the Lexus LS 400?
Sunday.
We're gonna have a great life, Bella.
They thought it was the perfect place to start a family.
He is going to deliver your baby.
But someone else wants their child.
Your parents, keep them away from me. I took your baby.
There's no baby here.
This is my baby. This is my baby.
Sunday, the world television premiere to save a child.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame take on number 2 Michigan in a college football classic next Saturday on ABC Sports.
Let's go back and take a look at that last play that Columbus was injured on. Take a look at the front now of the Washington Huskies. 8 guys up there. Now, if you're Columbus, you know you're throwing the ball over here. Which one of these guys is going to blitz and which one isn't? Well, none of them. It's going to be Kalele over here on the side he doesn't even know he's coming from. It's tough to keep him and sort them all out. The back picks up the one inside. The man on the outside is free, and unfortunately, he hurt his lower leg. Can't tell whether it's a knee. It looks like it may be a knee because of the way they've rolled the pan up.
Steve Stimstrom comes into the ball game. He is out of El Toro High School. He is a sophomore. He hands the ball to Glenn Milburn, and Milburn is taken down behind the line of scrimmage. Stenstrom, number 18, is 6'2", 200-pound sophomore. And there's the bad news. Jason Columbus. There haven't been that many people who have started 3 years at Stanford.
There have been a lot of good quarterbacks come out of this school.
Stenstrom is belted. The ball is loose, and they're going to call it an incomplete forward pass. Who had blitzed earlier against Columbus. Columbus picked him up and threw it and got the ball away, but Stenstrom did not. Number 21.
Well, 21 is a free safety right in the middle of your screen. He is the free safety. Comes right up the middle. Not even looking at him. This team, we said earlier, they led the Pac-10 last year in every defensive category. They are just tough, very aggressive, 8-man front. You never know who's coming.
And it brings up 4th down and no punt.
The Huskies, number 26, Stonehouse to kick.
Russell Hairston, a cornerback, under the ball for the Washington Huskies, and he brings it back to the 45-yard line. 39-yard punt by Stonehouse, 13 minutes to play in the game.
First, we created the LS400 luxury sedan. Now we've taken everything we've learned and condensed it. Introducing the Lexus ES300. All the performance of a sports sedan, all the luxury of a Lexus.
Every business morning, while the rest of the world is getting up, UPS is guaranteeing overnight delivery before 10:30 for far less than other companies charge. And every business morning, more people are waking up to that fact.
Good morning.
Good morning.
When you're out street hiking, you better know how to read the terrain. First, trust your instincts. By all means, avoid distractions. Do your best to preserve the wildlife, because street hikers don't just walk, they hike. Fresh shoes, Joe.
The orthopedic man for the Stanford football team is Dr. Don Bunce, former quarterback, winning quarterback in the Rose Bowl. For the Cardinal, the orthopedist for the Huskies is Steve Bramwell, whom you heard from earlier, and he was a halfback for Washington. Two players down the middle, goes to the tight end, Pierce, catches the ball for a first down at the Stanford 25-yard line. So Aaron Pierce, a big tight end, hauls in a bullet.
Pierce, an outstanding tight end, had some injury problems last year. Is an outstanding athlete, a decathlete, as a matter of fact, in high school and for a couple of years at Washington. They got a lot of targets to throw to on this ball club.
And on first down, Hobart turns, hands it off to Jay Barry for a couple of yards. Now here's the word from Dr. Bunce. Jack talks to him.
Dr. Bunce, can you tell us the condition on Columbus?
We got hit from the lateral side, and the inside of his knee is a little bit sore, but it doesn't look too bad. His ligaments look okay, and his cartilage looks okay. So I think it's major. It's basically a major contusion, so I think he'll be fine.
Now, you've been a quarterback in situations like this before. Now, what can you tell a guy when he comes out of a game like this and knows that he's out for at least for the rest of the day?
Well, in situations like this, you just hope that the defense keeps you close. And right now, of course, we're three touchdowns down, so you just hope for the best.
Thanks, Doc.
Jay Barry just turned the corner and made it 4 touchdowns down.
I'll tell you, what I would tell him if I were playing that purple rain defense of the Huskies, I'd say just stay on the sideline. Let the other guy do it. They're coming from everywhere. Little pitch around the right side. Good block there by 22 Jones. Offensive line doing a nice job, and Barry just doesn't want to be denied. Sees the man coming. Lynch, 17, takes it into the end zone.
And while all this is going on now, there's big number 75, Lincoln Kennedy, hobbling off the field. Now, he is 6'7", 325, a junior out of San Diego. And they would truly, sorely miss him if that's a big one. Barry, 18 carries, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns in the ball game now, just getting his second. And as we go inside 12 minutes, the Huskies have this one in hand. Bjornsson didn't handle that snap all that cleanly, did he? Nope. But Hansen makes the point.
We invested $100 million in the latest diagnostic equipment. And another $5 million a year training our expert technicians to use it. We are Goodyear certified auto service retailers, and we believe everything we do, from tires to tune-ups, should live up to the most exacting standards of all. Yours and ours. Good tires, good service, good people, Goodyear.
First, we created the LS400 luxury sedan. Now we've taken everything we've learned and condensed it. Introducing the Lexus ES300. All the performance of a sports sedan, all the luxury of a Lexus.
Well, we were looking at the doctor over there with Columbus, some of the other Stanford quarterbacks that have played here that have done very well and gone on. You see the names, Brody. Jim Plunkett won the Heisman Trophy here.
Only one.
Yep, the only one of that group. A bunch of them made All-American.
Yeah, but you know, you don't see Don Bunch's name up there, but he was a winning quarterback in the Rose Bowl. I mean, there have been a lot of guys that are not there. They've done really well. Here is John Lynch trying a return. He gets anchored down just short of the 30-yard line. I mean, how about a Turk Schoner? Those guys,
Yep.
I mean, they're good ones everywhere you look.
Well, when you think of Stanford football, and if you think of one position, you'd think of quarterback. That last drive, 3 plays and 55 yards. You know, Southern Cal, you'd think of running backs or offensive linemen. There's Kennedy with an ice pack on his left knee.
Bruised, they say. And he's finished for the day. The Huskies should get Darius Turner back, too, in a couple of weeks or so, and maybe for the Nebraska game, they think. Here is young Stenstrom pulling it down and taking off and picks up about 5 yards before he gets a pretty good lick. So let's hope that the initial diagnosis of Jason Columbus is correct, and it is only a contusion. He can walk it off because they go on the road to Arizona next week.
Well, this was supposed to be the year of the Cardinal. They return, what is it, 17, 15, 16, something like that, starters. And, but they're going to have to suffer through the first 4 games of the year. They may come out of that. If they can come out of it 2-2, I think they'll be doing well.
Dana Hall makes the tackle on John Pinckney after the catch, and it's good for a first down. The ball advancing out to the 46-yard line of Stanford. They're talking bowl game. They're really hopeful that they can get some kind of a bowl game, and I am too, because if they go to a bowl game and get a lot of money, maybe they'll put in an elevator.
Yeah, up here to the press box, huh?
Us older folks have a little trouble. Stenstrom puts it up down the middle. The pass incomplete. Pinckney was running under it, but pretty well handled on that play by Dana Hall.
Well, they get jammed, and the reason there's so much distance between where the ball lands and where the receiver is because the cornerback are jamming the receivers. In the National Football League, you can only jam them the first 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. In college football, you can jam them downfield as long as the ball is not in the air. And there is where the problem is lying with all these balls being so far overthrown.
2nd down and 10. Milburn in the middle, no room. He's right down at the line of scrimmage. Well, there was a time when Dennis Green had 8 quarterbacks on the roster here at Stanford. 8. And they moved off.
And only one.
I told you already today, half the secondary is ex-quarterback.
Only one can play, so the other 7 may start looking around for, hey, I want to play somewhere, Coach.
Yep. And you don't see a whole lot of folks, once they get into Stanford, they don't go walking off and going other places because the quality education is too valuable.
And he says he doesn't get many walk-ons because it's so expensive at the school, and it's just, you don't get that many. The undergraduate enrollment here is only about 6,500.
I know how expensive it is. That's why I'm wearing a 9-year-old coat. I had a son go here. Big opening for Hayden Fry's bunch today, too. They shut down Hawaii and, in fact, took the opening kickoff and just marched it right on down the field.
Here's a surprise. Maryland beating Virginia. Sean Moore's gone.
Dead ball foul. Illegal procedure against the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Back Stanford up 5. Looks like the Georgia Bulldogs may be an emerging team, huh? Because there were some people spreading the word that Ray Goff was going to be in some trouble if he didn't come up with a good season.
Well, it's surprising that they can do that with a true freshman quarterback. I mean, he hasn't even been to class yet, and they've won a couple of ball games.
They say he's something more precocious. 3rd and 15. Stenstrom getting some backside pressure, but has time. Man wide open. Chris Walsh. And that's good for a first down. And this fellow's got some zip on the ball, doesn't he?
Sure does.
And that's good for a first down.
Here's Walsh on Hall. Going to break across the field. Hall stays outside. They're playing zone. They don't go with the man. And Walsh knows when he's open, gets between the linebackers, kind of hangs in that area. Tulele, number 8, makes the stop.
And it's first down at the Washington 41. Stenstrom caught behind the line of scrimmage by DeMarco Farr, a sophomore from San Pablo, California, 265-pound nose guard. And Michigan now by 8 over Boston College midway of the 4th quarter. Ohio State now putting on a show against Arizona. All this talk about Robert Smith and all this stuff, people tend to forget that they got a guy named Carlos Snow coming back. I mean, he's a pretty good football player.
Robert Smith, the outstanding freshman running back last year that gained over 1,000 yards.
There's a hammer again caught. Ball thrown right to the numbers of David Calamise, a junior out of St. Louis. And the Cardinal now starting to move the ball some late in the game. 35-7 Washington lead. I asked Denny Green yesterday, as he labors here at the farm, if he's happy here. He said,
I think each year is getting better for me because the progress is there. And, you know, a coach to be happy has to have his personality stamped on the ball club. And I think we're getting close to that.
But that 3rd touchdown at the close of the half.
Yeah. And he said big. This is third year at Stanford. He's 8-14 coming into this year. He was 5 years at Northwestern and spent 3 years as an assistant with the San Francisco 49ers when Bill Walsh was the head coach.
Well, the big problem, as we've pointed out several times already, the big problem you've got here at Stanford, and it's historical. Recruiting defensive players. There's the pass for Walsh in the corner of the end zone. It is incomplete. Very good coverage by Dana Hall.
Nice play by Hall. Hall's got some size for a cornerback. He is 6'3" and 205 pounds, and you love that size in a corner who can run. Stenstrom buying himself some time, gets outside the pocket. This ball is pretty well thrown. Walsh, number 80, looks up, and as soon as he looks up and grabs, that's the key for the corner to look up and knock it down, and he couldn't have better coverage than that.
And it's 2nd down and 10. Milburn fumbles. Huskies cover it. It's a turnover. And it's been a grim day for the Cardinals.
Well, that's the 5th turnover for the Cardinal today. That's the same number they had last year. And the Huskies, as I mentioned a couple of times already, led the country in turnover margin last year, and they're off to a good start again this year.
Eric Bjornsson is in at quarterback for Washington. He is out of the Oakland area, and Napoleon Kaufman, a true freshman from Lompoc, California, is in the ball game at 5'9", 170, and I'll guarantee you he too is going to be an exciting little guy. I mean, this guy can haul it.
Well, you talk about depth. I mean, we talk about the lack of depth for Stanford. This team, Washington, has got some players backing up some players.
Kaufman bounces off the stack and comes on around the corner. See, that's what he's going to give them that we haven't seen today. He's going to give them that area of improvisation where you can really strike a mortal blow.
Well, the thing that they have not had today is any kind of a running game. They've gotten their yardage through the air. Last year they were 8th in the Pac-10 in passing the ball, 1st in rushing it, and today they've been just the opposite. They've really gotten their yardage through the air before they have on the ground.
This time they gang up on Kaufman as the reserves are coming into the ball game for the Huskies now, and they roll him down just around the 37-yard line. So that's going to bring up your kicking down in a moment here with Jack.
Keith, you were talking about the depth on the Washington Huskies. They have 134 players listed on their roster this year. Now, what that means is you can only use numbers from 1 to 99, so they have a lot of duplicate numbers. In the case of Hall and Bailey, we've seen it before. They've got number 5s, and they both scored touchdowns in last year's Rose Bowl.
Got a walk-on program that's even bigger than Nebraska's. Overt's punt. Taken by Milburn. Glenn looking for a little help back there, but there just isn't any. And finally they get him at the 26. 34-yard punt, -3 on the return as he retreated looking for some help. But there were just too many white shirts around him.
There was some help over there in the form of a wall, but there was a bunch of purple pants between he and the wall. He couldn't get there.
The fact that there are 134 people listed on the various rosters, you're only entitled to have 95 there. That goes eventually down to 85 next year, I guess it is, isn't it?
Yes.
And you could only travel 60 in the Pac-10, so they don't obviously have 100 something here today. The captain's squad is restricted. Stenstrom puts it up. Walsh is there and can't hang on. He looked back into that bright sun and couldn't quite reel it in. And here's Roger, studio in New York.
Oh, Keith, maybe Michigan will think about opening up with Notre Dame again after what they've been through today. But Elvis Gerbach, 4th quarter, finds Desmond Howard, the single-man coverage there, and that gives Michigan a 21-13 lead with less than 7 minutes to go. Back to Keith.
How good does that make Rutgers?
What did Rutgers beat Boston College?
Beat BC, yeah.
Okay.
Interference is called against the Huskies, and that's going to give Stanford a first down. You know, I've said it many times before, though. You talk about Rutgers. That is the State University of New Jersey. And if they ever get to the point where they can keep just a few of those New Jersey kids at home and send them to Rutgers.
Well, one of their own just went back. The quarterback, Brian Forte from Miami, went back up there. So
you hope him, too.
Don James has done a great job with this program. I mean, all of his coaching staff. I mean, they get good talent, but they really do good things with them. James, a couple of years ago, realizing he needed more speed and more strength. He is always big on size and strength, but he recognized he needed more speed, and he went out and got it.
Mark Hotzenbuehler is in the ball game, a sophomore out of Galt, California, at the fullback position now for Stanford. So both coaches beginning to send in their reserves and get a little seasoning done here, because this is only the opening weekend. Hotzenbuehler is number 13. I wonder if he speaks German. Stenstrom. Oh, my goodness. Right through the hands of Brett Collins. And if Collins makes the catch, it's another 6.
You know, Don James lost one member of his staff to the head coaching ranks. Gary Pinkel took the job at Toledo, and Gilbertson.
Look at California, 79 points.
California?
Yeah.
Keith Gilbertson, the offensive coordinator here, had a couple of opportunities to move on, decided to stay. And when you have good talent and good coaches, you know, good things are going to happen, and that's what the Washington program has.
Stenstrom throws and misses Walsh. He was getting heat, and his feet got a little happy, and he missed his pass. And now Jason Columbus is heading for the clubhouse. Hopefully that's a contusion. Hopefully it is not a ligament tear. That's a mean thing to happen in the senior year. Punt is away. Russell Hairston is back. Fumbles the ball, covers it on the 13, and there the Huskies will go to work. First down, back at their own 13. 49-yard punt.
Jason Columbus, I mentioned he led the nation in percentage completions. Not a good day for him, but hopefully he will be back. If what the doctor said that just strained it a little bit, hopefully he'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Time permitting, the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report for the scores of the day. We're showing 6:19 to play in the ball game. And Bjornsson comes out at quarterback for Washington. Napoleon Kaufman is the tailback. And we got folks bouncing all over the place. That entire Washington front now is composed of reserves. Frank Garcia at center. Tom Gallagher. Dave Ilsley. Jim Neville. Pete Pearson.
Dead ball foul. False start.
Bruce Bailey.
On the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Fullback is Leif Johnson, a sophomore out of Seattle. And the tailback, as we told you, is Napoleon Kaufman. Wide out, Shermont Brooks, number 3. This is Kaufman.
And Keith, what a great way to break in some of your younger players like Kaufman, who's going to add depth and some excitement and big plays later on in the season for you. To get them in the first game of the year, when you're way ahead, you can get them in, get them some experience. This is the way you build depth right here. You got talent, and you get them in, get them some experience.
It's second down and about 9 as Kaufman got the penalty +1 back. Runs it up the middle. Had a little room to go that time, but got tripped up just as he came over the line of scrimmage. Five and a half minutes remaining in the ball game. Stanford goes to Tucson to play the Arizona Wildcats next weekend. Washington is off, and then the Huskies on the 21st will go off to Lincoln, Nebraska, a game that we will have for you. Bjornsson's pass. Good. First down. Caught by Bruce Bailey, tight end, junior out of Seattle. Next Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, Notre Dame and Michigan at Ann Arbor. Michigan struggled today. The Irish broke it open against Indiana in the second half. Then at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific time, the Penn State Nittany Lions roll roll into the Coliseum against the Southern California Trojans. Kaufman has the ball roll around, get loose from him, comes back, picks it up. He can advance it, being the only man on the field who can advance it, but he is unable because there is a Stanford Cardinal wearing his ankles.
Showed some quickness there and getting back to recover that fumble. Didn't look it into his hands when it was first tossed to him. But you know, Keith, the first game of the year, you never know what's going to come out. You prepare these guys, you bring them out here. Michigan struggled today. Notre Dame had some problems for a while, but then blew the game out. Southern Cal got bit by Memphis State.
That's a pretty good run by Johnson. But it may come back because I saw a flag fly, didn't I? No flag. Fixed it up. Okay.
There's always a big improvement between the first game of the year and the second.
There is a flag. It's offside against Stanford. So the play will stand. Excuse me, Bob. Well, you know, there's a ball game down in the Coliseum. No, in the Rose Bowl tonight with UCLA BYU.
Offside on the defense. Penalty refused. Third down.
That's going to be an interesting ball game because it happens to be, in my opinion, UCLA may be the big turnaround in the Pac-10 this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be at all surprised to see those guys come roaring.
Well, UCLA has Tommy Maddox and certainly turned it around for him last year.
That pass is a missed connection between Shermont Brooks and Eric Bjornsson. Bjornsson, you know, he's from the Oakland area. He's got to be perfectly at home in the Northwest with a name like that, doesn't he?
Bjornsson's getting an opportunity to play a little bit too because of the injury to Brunell, third-string quarterback before that.
This is John Wardell in the punt now. First time we've seen him today. Billy Joe Hobart has been doing it. Whoa, look at this. Billy Joe may not have to do much more punting it. This guy can hit it like that. Holy cow. He knocked it out of town. The key play in the ball game, the backbreaker, the one that broke a heart at least, was this one.
Well, it was right before the half. It was about a minute left. And Washington just throws the ball up. Hobart throws it up, and the defensive back, that's Bryant, number 4, misplays the ball. Washington goes in halftime leading 21-7 instead of 14-7. And if there was ever any key play in a 35-7 game, I think that is it.
Stanford goes to the attack now with less than 4 minutes to play. That pass goes awry. And John Wardell's punt that we saw a moment ago was good for 49 yards. I don't know, do you think, did you do any punting when you were quarterback?
I did. I punted at Purdue while I played quarterback. Right. Yeah, and it...
That's an extra burden or what?
Well, it's not that much trouble, except I also did some place kicking, and I always had the, it was tough to punt when you had the square toe. You did the square toe.
You're just showing off again, that's what it is. Georgia Bulldogs, a winner. Ohio State got that one in hand, the Buckeyes. Stenstrom is in trouble. Taken down again. That second time DeMarco Farr has come through to get his man.
Well, the Huskies led the Pac-10 in tackles for losses and in sacks last year, and they're well on their way. A very aggressive, very much speed, attacking type of defense.
Loss is back inside the 20 to the 17. So it's third down and 17 for the Cardinal. Oh, that's intercepted. Play took too long. Ball was too late getting there, and Josh Moore comes up with the interception. That's 6 turnovers by Stanford.
Well, you mentioned it, Keith. The ball just takes too long to get there. Moore makes a nice move on the ball. That's 6 turnovers now, I believe, if I've not lost count. Michigan scores again, 28-13.
Yeah. They better get their act in gear, because those folks, they're trying to break that Notre Dame complex. And that's who they're looking at next week. Eugene Harris is at tailback now for the Huskies, as both coaches are playing reserves.
Michigan has opened with Notre Dame the last couple of years, haven't they?
Yep.
And I tell you what, it makes it makes a big difference to have played one game. Have one under your belt before you go in and play a major opponent like Notre Dame and Michigan playing each other.
Bjornson's pass is good. Caught by Damon Barry, number 21. And they have marked him for a first down.
Bjornson's pass.
You know, there's another quarterback sitting over there on the bench, and I would imagine that they have in mind redshirting Damon Heward. I don't know that.
Certainly, you're talking about Washington. They certainly don't need another quarterback. They've Brunell is just a junior. Holbert is a sophomore. Bjornson is a freshman, redshirt freshman.
If they can make it through to the point where Brunell comes back, you know that they'll redshirt Heward. But the thing about Heward was he was a sophomore in Holbert's senior year. He's a big guy, 6'4", 210. He was playing tight end when Holbert was senior quarterback.
In high school, you talked.
Yeah, high school. He caught 40 passes, Heward did, for 500 yards and 8 touchdowns.
There's a look at him.
His daddy moved him over to quarterback the next year. Up man. Johnson carries. Touchdown, Huskies. At a minute and a half to go in the game.
That's the third string quarterback for the Huskies.
Blake Johnson.
Straight blocking up inside, and Johnson refuses to be tackled.
He spent some time in the weight room. You look how square he is when
You
he
got
walks.
that right.
He'd have been hanging on to those barbells a little. Travis Hansen for the try.
Hansen to attempt the PAT.
And it's good. So with 90 seconds left to play, Washington builds the lead to 42-7.
In my considered opinion, it's okay to enjoy mowing one's lawn. Oh, for heaven's sake. In fact, my snapper significantly enhances my sense of well-being.
Well, there's the man. And I dare say, if you met Don James in the corner drugstore and didn't know what he did for a living, I don't think you'd tap him as a football coach, would you?
Well,
he is a very good one.
He certainly is. He's a health nut. He keeps himself in good shape. He has climbed Mount Rainier. He took along some of his coaches on that one, coaching assistants. Take a look at the tenure. He is, I think he's the 5th most active behind Paterno, Grant, Taft, Lavelle Edwards at Brigham Young, Osborne at Nebraska. And as you mentioned, we'll see those two, Osborne and James, in a couple of weeks. 17 years, Don James at Washington.
And I have never heard him even think about going to the pros. I've never heard him even have any indication at all.
There was some talk a few years ago before Chuck Knox went to the Seattle Seahawks, but he had none of it. He wanted to stay in college.
Ozzie Granardo returning the kickoff. And Michigan Wolverines now have scored again, but how misleading is that, huh? I mean, that thing was in doubt until 10 minutes to play. It was a 14-13 ball game.
Yeah, I don't think Gary Moeller will let the troops forget that. But they got out of there. They had all they wanted in Boston College this week.
So from the 22-yard line, Stanford will give it another try. Jason Columbus, in case you missed it, has what apparently is a bruised knee and is gone to the clubhouse. But they will obviously have to do some x-raying and take a good look at it. So.
And this is the thing that Stanford really can't have, Keith, and that is some of their players being injured. They're not that deep. You know, the thing that they suffered with last year was inconsistency. They would beat Notre Dame, and then the following couple of weeks they went up to Oregon and got shut out at Oregon. So it just depends on who's healthy for Stanford is accordingly how they're going to play.
Left side of the Stanford line, men pulled up over there. That's why the Husky penetrated. Pittsburgh looks like they might be a bit of a surprise, and Dick Sheridan's ball club at NC State comes up with a win today against Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech had been playing well the last couple of years.
Yep.
Yeah. Dead ball. Illegal snap on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
58 seconds, less than a minute to go in a game that has become a very long afternoon for Dennis Green and his Stanford Cardinal. But it is the opener, and the first 4 games of the season are really tough. They go from here, they go to Arizona next week, then they get a week off, and they come home to host Colorado and Notre Dame successively. Washington is off next week, then they go to Nebraska. The Huskies do not play UCLA this year. That pass caught over the middle. And they will go to the Coliseum in Los Angeles, however, November 9 to play Southern California. The executive producer of ABC Sports, Jack O'Hara, coordinating producer of ABC's college football, and producer of today's game, Bob Goodrich. Today's game was directed by Larry Cam. Our technical director, Gary Larkins. Associate producer for college football is Jim Ressler. Associate director, Patrick McManus. Unit manager, Joe Alvarado. Technical operations managers, Al Fong and Hal Schmitz. Stenstrom throwing. Pass is caught. Bernardo steps around a little bit and is stopped short of the first down. Assistant to the producer, Mitch Green, Steve Shunt. Statistician is Dave Bergson, 10th year. Spotter, Todd Barry, 11th year. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Bob Greasy for Jack Arute. Our final score, Washington 42, Stanford 7. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Billy Joe Hobart from Washington, Albert Richardson from Stanford. The Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund, rewarding outstanding students for their academic achievements and to help those who need financial aid. So the Washington Huskies, with an impressive outing, defeat the Stanford Cardinal. The 2 coaches and 2 teams meeting. Many of them come from the same area. Many of them played against each other through high school, and they look forward to seeing each other, I'm sure, down the road. But the Washington Huskies, defending Pac-10 champions, show today why a lot of people think they will be contending for a national championship this year. They look pretty good.
They certainly did, Keith. And you see Willie Shaw right there. Last year they defeated their opponents in the Big Ten, the Pac-10, by an average of 30 points, and they're well on their way again this year. I think they look awful good.
And so they leave the green of Stanford Stadium with our final score, the Washington Huskies 42 and the Stanford Cardinals 7.